over 90. It's cooler, but still record temperatures in Atlanta into the mid to upper 80s, into the 80s here in New York City as well.
Yet another woman says she was sexually assaulted by now former Congressman Eric Swalwell. His latest accuser claims he choked her into unconsciousness in 2018. Fellow Democrat Teresa Leger Fernandez.
We need to protect our women staffers. We need to protect all of our staffers. And if we hadn't taken swift action now, I think our staff would have felt we weren't protecting them.
Swalwell denies all of the allegations against him. President Trump says another round of peace talks with Iran could begin within days. Tehran has just warned its military will block the Red Sea if the U.S. continues its naval blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. As for fighting between Israel and Lebanon, Linda Gradstein reports from Jerusalem.
The Israeli army said all civilians should leave South Lebanon as Israel is conducting heavy strikes against Hezbollah. The repeated warning came as Israel and Lebanon held their first direct talks in more than 30 years. Israel says Hezbollah must agree to disarm as part of any peace deal, which Hezbollah has repeatedly refused to do.
Voters in South Hadley, Massachusetts have rejected a 50% property tax increase.
The town of 18,000 is facing a $3 million budget gap. By a 2-to-1 margin, voters rejected a ballot measure to collect up to $11 million in additional property tax revenue by increasing the average tax bill by $1,700 a year. A second measure to raise $9 million also failed. Town Administrator Lisa Wong.
We have to run the town the best we can.
South Hadley may now have to close its library and make deep cuts to its schools, police, public works, and senior center. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Picking up a cup of coffee or a Slurpee is going to get a little harder.
Wake up! It's time for 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven's parent company says it plans to close 645 stores in the U.S. in the next year. The problem, inflation. 7 and I Holdings says people aren't spending as much, especially in low-income households. Marks the 5th year in a row the company is shrinking its footprint. This is CBS News.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, April 25th. Find a collection site near you at deatakeback.com.
It is 6:03, and right now we've got cloudy skies at 70 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. A man is being charged with felony property damage after he was caught on a neighbor's surveillance camera spray painting swastikas on cars. 33-year-old Daniel Hughes allegedly sprayed the cars in the 1900 block of Utah Saturday. That's near Benton Park. The circuit attorney's office says he was arrested 2 days later in the same neighborhood and admitted doing it.
The victims in Monday night's Franklin County crash have been identified, their names not being officially released, but the driver of the vehicle, one of the vehicles where 3 of 4 passengers died, was the mother of the 10-year-old passenger who was a 4th grader at Herman Middle School. Another passenger who died was that girl's stepfather, a 47-year-old who was a volunteer football coach for Herman High School.
It's 6:04. The St. Louis County Council has released just over $700,000 to go to the Revenue Department.
This follows County Executive Dr. Sam Page is cutting back hours and closing county offices on Friday, particularly the Revenue Department, to catch up on a backlog of processing RECA requests, senior property tax freeze applications, and tax refunds. Chairwoman Rita Hurd Days.
Thank you for coming out this evening and for spending the time that you could be spending with your families here to be part of a political pawn that you're being played. I just want to be honest with you. This council passed a budget that included money for each of your salaries.
Page has been saying for weeks that the next move will be to furlough county employees, something Days says is not needed.
If you lose your job, it's not because this council did not provide the money in your budget. It's because your department director or the county administration decided that for you.
Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
County Executive Page is set to leave the country this weekend on British Airways' inaugural flight from St. Louis to London. But ahead of that trip, he filed a lawsuit seeking to block County Councilwoman Days from assuming the powers of the county executive by saying he is effectively absent. Page says he does not trust the council won't abuse power in his absence.
There was past behavior and a very clear statement from the council chair that she intended to assume the executive authority when I leave town.
Did you bring those concerns up with her in the Monday meeting? And if so, what was her response?
We didn't go through the list of hypothetical disagreements in policy.
The move comes amidst a budget crisis with furloughs and layoffs. KMOX asked Page how much the lawsuit will cost.
I don't know what this lawsuit costs taxpayers. It won't cost them nearly as much as the chaos that would ensue if there's any lack of clarity over who's county executive.
KMOX has reached out to Chairwoman Heard Days for comments.
In less than 4 hours, 5 shot, 1 dead in 2 separate incidents. St. Louis police spokesman Mitch McCoy says the first shooting was not random.
The first shooting happened around 6:30 outside a market on Martin Luther King Drive and Garrison.
All of the victims are males. The victim that passed away is an adult, but obviously with numerous victims at hospitals, we're still trying to figure out ages.
The second shooting happened around 10 o'clock last night, but information is limited. Police report an adult male was critically injured. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
The Missouri Military Academy is being sued by a 12-year-old student over sexual assault allegations.
The lawsuit claims that a 15-year-old cadet was assigned to share a room with a 12-year-old cadet near the beginning of the 2025-26 school year and almost immediately began sexually assaulting him. The victim's attorney claims the Missouri Military Academy has a history of not protecting younger cadets from older ones and has tolerated a climate of abuse, assault, and hazing. MMA President Richard Geraci sent a statement to MissouriNet calling the allegations in the lawsuit, quote, unsubstantiated and without merit. Marshall Griffin, MissouriNet.
The new sloth atrium opens at the zoo today. The open-air habitat is inside the primate house and features 2-toed sloths. The vine system of the exhibit is movable so it can mimic a changing tropical rainforest. Later this year, visitors will be allowed to take behind-the-scenes tours.
Fresh salads and breakfast biscuits may not sound like a natural combo, but it's working for Neon Greens in the Grove. The salad eatery that grows its own lettuces hydroponically on site opened in the summer of 2024, but a very snowy winter impacted sales. So owner Josh Smith launched Biscuit Town as a ghost kitchen and then a pop-up concept.
Now, according to the Business Journal, it's a permanent fixture at Neon Greens and helped contribute to an almost 20% boost in sales. Smith's also opened a Biscuit Town booth at Energizer Park for City SC matches and is looking for a permanent space aside from the Grove location.
It is 6:08, and coming up next, traffic and weather on KMOX.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. Ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. Ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
Let's check traffic. Roger Brand, what's going on out there? Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, right now, it's not a bad run time pretty much anywhere. I mean, we're getting a few more folks on the highways, but the weather's mostly cooperating. I mean, we're not seeing anything like downpours or any kind of problems related to the weather on the highways. And we still look good in the construction zones. 70 coming in from Warrenton's fine. 55 had a little bit of a slowdown a couple minutes ago at McNutt. Doesn't look as bad there. Still looks good headed up through 141 and Bayless in the work zones. Route 3 is pretty well thinned out. That delay running through Queenie and Monsanto. It was a jam, then a slowdown. Now it's pretty much dissipated, so we're good to go there. So I don't really see any issues on the highways for you so far this Wednesday morning. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, plenty of clouds today, breezy and not as warm as yesterday. There'll be a couple of showers, even a thunderstorm, the high 79. But those thunderstorms late this afternoon and early tonight can be severe, with damaging wind gusts, hail, and flooding downpours. Lingering clouds late tonight, those 65. Tomorrow, clouds will give way to some sun. A warm day, high 85. Friday, some sun followed by increasing clouds, breezy, quite warm and rather humid. Watch out for an afternoon thunderstorm, the high 87. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is cloudy and 70 degrees right now in downtown St. Louis.
It's 6:12. President Trump has criticized Pope Leo for his disapproval of mass deportations and the Iran war. Vice President Vance reiterated Trump's statements on Fox, saying the Vatican should stick to matters of morality and the president should stick to dictating American public policy. KMOX religion editor Fred Bottomer reports.
How important is the Catholic voting bloc for Mr. Trump?
Oh, it's incredibly important. I mean, in 2008, the Catholic vote was 50-50, half for McCain, half for Obama. And in 2024, it was 56% for Trump and 42% for Harris. Among white Catholics, about 2/3 of white Catholics favor Donald Trump in 2024. It's after white evangelicals, there's no more important voting bloc to Republican politicians in this country than Catholics, particularly white Catholics.
Brian Burge is a political scientist and professor of practice at WashU's Danforth Center on Religion and Politics.
You know, the Catholic vote is really interesting because if you actually follow Catholic doctrine, it doesn't really track perfectly with one party or the other. You know, things like abortion, the GOP, that's their position. But on things like, you know, war and immigrants, the death penalty, those are all issues where the Catholic official position actually aligns more with the Democrats on these issues. So the Catholic vote has always been sort of divided across both parties.
Historically, Burge says older white Christian people tend to be Republican.
I mean, I wonder if that's over, you know, and a lot of older white Catholics are going to look around and you're actually seeing a lot of stories, a lot of anecdotes saying, you know, I'm a white Catholic. I've supported Donald Trump for, you know, his entire time, the last 10, 15 years. But man, he's gone too far.
Which is important for the upcoming midterm elections.
And a really good chance the Democrats take back at least the House, if not the House and the Senate.
You can hear our entire interview with Professor Burge. It's podcast at KMOX.com. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
Illinois Senator Dick Durbin teaming up with Missouri Senator Josh Hawley to hold big tech responsible for causing harm to children.
I've seen this story before. I know about it personally. It was called Big Tobacco in those days. It's big tech today. Big Tobacco knew its product was addictive. Like big tech, Big Tobacco knew that if you could hook a kid at a young age, you had a customer for life, albeit a short life in many instances. And like big tech, Big Tobacco used its deep pockets to oppose and kill congressional efforts to address the harms. But eventually, the dam broke.
Senator Hawley says you can't keep a lid on it anymore.
I want to say that this press conference, this legislation, this moment is about one simple principle, which is that no amount of profit by the big tech companies justifies destroying the lives of America's children.
Every Democrat and every Republican on the Senate Judiciary Committee voted in support of this legislation to hold big tech accountable, and Durbin and Hawley are asking the rest of the Senate to follow suit.
It's time for the Redbird Report. It's sponsored by Restoration One of Greater St. Louis, and here's how it sounded in the 10th inning last night. The Cardinals get a runner at second to start the inning. That's Thomas Saggese. He goes to third on a wild pitch, 5-5 game. Nathan Church.
Tim Herron is set, and the pitch. That ball is hit into right field. Fairly deep. Saggese tagging at third, and he's going to try to score. The throw is offline, and he is safe. The Cardinals win it. A sacrifice fly off the bat of Nathan Church. And the Cardinals win it in extra, and they're mobbing Church on the middle of the field as the Cardinals, a dramatic comeback win. They've done it 7 times now. A home run by Weatherholt in the 8th, Pozo a big double in the 9th, and Church the RBI in the 10th. What a game here at Busch Stadium.
With more, here's KMOX's Matt Pauley.
The Cardinals come up with what might be the most unlikely win of the season, 6-5 over Cleveland in 10 innings. Down by a run in the 9th, the game appears over when Mason Wynn hits a ground ball, but Wynn ends up reaching on an air and eventually scoring on a Joel Pozo double. In the 10th inning, Nathan Church wins the game with a sacrifice fly, scoring automatic runner Thomas Ajacey, who was on third thanks to a wild pitch. 7 of the 9 Cardinals wins this year are in comeback fashion. Manager Oliver Marmol loves it, despite the toll it might be taking on him.
It's giving me a lot of gray hairs, but I'll take every one of them because you want to build an identity around it. You really do. I mean, you want these guys fighting to the very end.
The team is also 4-0 in extra innings, their best extra inning record to start a season since they won their first 6 in 2004. At Busch Stadium, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
The Blues might be out of the playoff race, but they came roaring back as well last night in their final home game. They were down 4-1 and turned around and beat the Penguins 7-5 at Enterprise Center. Coach Jim Montgomery.
And the second period was much better, for us. We outshot them 16-6, I believe. 16-6. And we scored those goals, and we carried that into the third. We got a couple of goals, and we got a little sloppy again. But this seems to be the kind of games we're getting right now. It seems like, with everybody who's made the playoffs is in, and those teams that haven't are out. So there's a lot of call-ups being played for the teams that have made the playoffs, and there's a lot of young kids probably playing for a lot of the teams that are not in the playoffs.
Blues will clean out their lockers on Saturday and go their separate ways after their final game at Utah. We will have Blues general manager Doug Armstrong, the outgoing GM, as Alex Steen is going to take over for him. Doug Armstrong will be with us on Sports on a Sunday morning this coming Sunday at 10:45. City plays tonight on KMOX. They're in the U.S. Open Cup round of 32. They will play FC Tulsa, and that one will start at 7 o'clock right here. It's at Energizer Park. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Drury Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Now, you read the reviews before you go to a restaurant, don't you? A lot of times, you read the reviews before you go to a hotel. Why wouldn't you read the reviews before you go to Ophthalmology Associates, before you get your eyes checked? The patient reviews at youridoc.com tell you everything you need to know. Charlene says a sincere thank you for your excellent skills and dedication in giving me, your patient, the opportunity to see clearly without glasses for the first time in 64 years. She says, words can't express my gratitude. Cecilia says your staff at the office are both friendly and competent, and the surgery center very professional and caring. And Phil goes on to say, I feel you passed the test with flying colors as one of those small percentage of people experiencing some complications from a LASIK procedure. The true test of a great physician comes with handling those complications that may arise. Phil is very happy with what he received as well. It's Ophthalmology Associates. 314-966-5000, online at youridoc.com. Tell them Tom Ackerman at KMOX sent you.
Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
It is 6:20 and time for us to get you another check of traffic and weather. You never know when something's going to pop up. That's why we have Roger Brand standing by all morning long in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're getting a little busy out there, but it still doesn't look bad, Debbie. This traffic reports the service of the Missouri History Museum's Route 66 Centennial Festival, April 30th through May 3rd. So it's coming up in a couple weeks. If you're on northbound 55, getting busy enough now that we're starting to see slow traffic. I guess I'll call it about midway up from Richardson through 141 to the Merrimack River in that construction zone, and then a little busy again north of there as you approach the city limits. It's a little bogged down between Bayless and Weber. Northbound 270 from 55 up to Gravois, past 44 up to 64. Ladue looks good. Still look good out west. Eastbound 70, 64. Southbound 61 coming in from Wentzville. No big deal there. Need to talk about our USPS Ground Advantage reliable route, if I can say that. You know, they closed 111 at Hershey Lake Road earlier this week. It closed over the weekend, and it's going to be closed until the 20th. There's about a week and a half closure. Just south of Hershey Lake Road, your reliable route is to take Horseshoe Lake Road over to 255 to 5570, or you can go the other way, 162 to 203 down to 5570. You got a couple of options there. Don't miss the Route 66 Festival at the Missouri History Museum, April 30th through May 3rd. Music from Sweetie and the Toothaches, a classic car show, neon display, kids crafts, and more. Schedule at mohistory.org/festival. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We have a little rain falling right now in Belleville and O'Fallon, but here in downtown St. Louis, if you're watching on any of our KMOX feeds, you can see over my left shoulder that the Soldiers Memorial is in the background, and it's a nice calm morning down here. Cloudy today. We will have, however, a shower or thunderstorm, says Joe Lundberg, a high of 79 today, and those thunderstorms could be late this afternoon into early tonight, so we'll watch out for that. Some could be severe. Tonight, clouds give way, and we'll get a low of 65 into some sun tomorrow with a high of 85. 71 right now.
The news continues at 6:23. St. Louis City making adjustments to roadways, both adding and removing safety measures simultaneously.
Scott Ogilvie, a planning executive with St. Louis City, says the city has a lot more simultaneous work going on now than in recent memory.
Tucker is under construction from Choteau up to Washington Avenue. That project consisted of resurfacing, but also the addition of what we call a cycle track or a bikeway on the west side of the street that is being built right now.
And other major roadways in the city are seeing similar work.
Goodfellow is one of the ARPA repaving and safety corridors, so that is very much under construction. Most of that resurfacing work is done, and then some of those safety features will get layered in now that the pavement is new. And South Jefferson is at roughly the same point.
But while Tucker is receiving bump outs, a few blocks over, some are being removed from downtown. Ogilvie says this is not uncommon.
When we do corridor design, it is actually somewhat typical for there to be some changes made in the field just to reflect the conditions, or sometimes there are some operational changes that are made to a project design after construction. Which is the case with near Broadway and Market, which I think has been well covered.
Some of the work on Tucker is making significant changes to the curb with new bump outs carving in bike lanes. What does that mean for the parking situation?
The design of that project, the cycle track runs between the curb and then there's a concrete barrier, but there's going to be a new parking lane that's just separated from, where the sidewalk is or where those meters are. But people will still be able to park in that lane and pay at the existing meters. There's not, there won't be much change to the availability of parking in that corridor.
He said southbound Tucker didn't have to be 4 lanes wide. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
A St. Louis furniture maker and designer will showcase his work at the Smithsonian Craft Show, one of the most competitive showcases in the country. Martin Goebel of Goebel Furniture is one of 120 artists chosen from about 1,200 applicants for the Washington, D.C. show next week. Goebel is an adjunct professor of architecture at Washington University. He's showcasing 4 pieces he says reflect a deep reverence for the history of craft.
West County Center is getting a new cheesecake factory. It would fill the former McCormick and Schmick's space. The De Pere Board of Aldermen approved a conditional use permit this week. There is Currently, just one other Cheesecake Factory location in the region at the Galleria. The Chesterfield location closed when the mall officially closed in 2024.
It's 6:26. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Just got a text from a friend in Indiana who says he was working out this morning and he saw my post on Magic Johnson on ESPN2. Holy cow. Our little Missouri Athletic Club's gone national. That's because when Magic Johnson walks through the door, that's a big deal for you. And that's exactly what happened on Monday. We had the college basketball awards at the Missouri Athletic Club on Monday, and it was outstanding. When you have one of the greatest players in the history of the game walk through the doors, it just adds to the history of the club. Thinking about all the legends who have walked through there, from Stan Musial to Bob Gibson to, most recently with the USBWA awards, Bill Walton, Dick Vitale, Roy Williams, now Magic Johnson. We've had some time there. When you have a national awards ceremony, one after the other, coming to St. Louis and doing their event here, it says something about the sports community, but it also says something about the MAC and how they handle these big events. They do a wonderful job, everything from the planning to the catering, to the promotion of the event, to streaming it live, and now getting attention all over the country. The Missouri Athletic Club. There is no finer club in America when it comes to a city club like the Missouri Athletic Club. There just isn't. And we are very lucky to have it. It's downtown. The other thing is we have two others, MAC West and MAC Clayton. MAC-STL.org.
If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
Looking to build your dream home? Lombardo Homes is known for quality, luxury, and thoughtful design in some of the area's most desirable communities. And for a limited time this April, we're offering something we rarely do. Exclusive incentives designed to help you get more from your new home. From a free finished recreation room to premium kitchen and cabinet upgrades to flexible perks like design credits or closing cost savings, there's an opportunity waiting for you. But these offers are available in select communities and only for a short time. Visit LombardoHomes.com or stop by a sales office today.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
St. Louis is a baseball town, and the Gas House Gang talks Cardinals baseball. Ackerman, Ranji, Nicholas, and Claves bring informed opinions and real insight. Smart baseball talk from guys who truly know the game. And every Tuesday at noon, it's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol. Passion, knowledge, the best baseball talk in town. The Gas House Gang, weekdays at noon. We know baseball. KMOX.
It is 6:30, and we have cloudy skies, 70 degrees right now in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey.
I'm Tom Ackerman. Let's go to Roger Brand, overhead door company, the St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, as we the moments tick away, get a little busier on these roadways, but still not bad. There's a couple more slowdowns, though. Northbound 55 is bogged down just north of Richardson up to the Merrimack. It's also busy from about the Union Road overpass back up Bayless to Weber, but it remains slow all the way up past Virginia. On North 270, it's starting to bog down as well. Doherty Ferry up through Manchester, and a little slow at the lane shift at 64. Seeing volume on southbound 61 about midway between P and Wentzville Parkway down to 64, but once you get on to 64 or 70 coming out of Wentzville, great across the Missouri River bridges. 70 is a little Slow down right around David Hokel Parkway on the Illinois side, westbound 64. That's a little slow as well, passing 159. And back to seeing just a brief delay. Go slow down mainly on Route 3 coming through Queenie. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is going to be a mostly cloudy day, and we could see some showers and thunderstorms as well, a high of 79. Showers and thunderstorms late afternoon into early this evening could be severe with some strong winds, hail, and flooding downpours. Tomorrow, no rain in the forecast and a high of 85. Currently, it's 70 downtown.
This council made a decision when the budget was passed that we would not cut any deeper so that you could have your job.
St. Louis County Council Chairwoman Rita Hurday is talking to Revenue Department workers whose jobs are being threatened with furloughs. Executive Sam Page has been signaling for several weeks that the cuts would be needed.
The council has money to keep the county budget running. The council could tonight add $6.5 million from the $200 million surplus the county has to prevent furloughs and service interruptions.
Now, I am absolutely appalled that the lengths that this administration would go through to scare you all into coming here tonight and act like the sky is falling. It is not falling. There is sufficient money in here to pay you for the rest of the year.
2 separate shootings leave 1 man dead and 4 others critically injured. St. Louis police spokesman Mitch McCoy says the first shooting outside a market at Martin Luther King Drive in Garrison was not a random incident.
It's my understanding that the shooting itself happened in front of the Gateway Market. There were reports of other shootings that came in. I think that was because of the numerous calls. It's very possible that one of the victims called and said they were at a different location, but everything is contained to here.
The second shooting left another man critically injured. That happened about 10 o'clock last night in the 5,000 block of Goodfellow.
A man is being charged with felony property damage after he was caught on a neighbor's surveillance camera spray painting swastikas on cars. 33-year-old Daniel Hughes allegedly sprayed the cars in the 1900 block of Utah Saturday. That's near Benton Park. The circuit attorney's office says he was arrested 2 days later in the same neighborhood and admitted doing it.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. We've got your Bloomberg Money Minute coming up next at 6:33.
A new game day favorite is coming to Busch Stadium on Saturday, April 25th, when the Cardinals host the Seattle Mariners. That day, fans take home a Victory Blue Cardinals crewneck sweatshirt presented by Purina, a light and easy style that's perfect for spring and designed to fit right into your everyday wardrobe. Available in medium and extra large while supplies last. A limited look you'll want to wear again and again. Tickets and info at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Jose Fermin. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com.
Every Sunday home game is a kids' Sunday at Busch Stadium. From Team Fred Birding games to a kid-friendly DJ, ice cream, and family-favorite activities. Sundays are built for young fans. Plus, select Sundays feature kids run the bases after the game. It's a day made for smiles, memories, and Cardinals baseball together. Make Sundays your family tradition at Busch Stadium. Tickets and details at cardinals.com/kidssunday.
6:34, your Money Minute is sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano, Elder Law Attorneys.
This is the Bloomberg Money Minute. Delta's looking for ways to pass its higher fuel costs on to customers. Delta will spend an extra $2.5 billion on jet fuel this quarter because of the Iran war, and CEO Ed Bastian says the airline has to find ways to get that cost passed through to flyers. The carrier's fuel prices have doubled in the past month. At the same time, the airline is thinking about temporarily halting routes that aren't profitable. Checking in on the markets, S&P futures are little changed as the U.S. and Iran look to arrange a second round of peace talks. Investors continue to watch for signs of consumers and companies are cutting back on spending due to all the uncertainty. And Caterpillar is said to have acquired self-driving electric tractor startup Monarch Tractor. Monarch has run into problems while growing the business and has laid off staff in recent months. The startup said in a LinkedIn post that its technology has been purchased by a large equipment manufacturer, but didn't disclose the name. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original. Hey, listen, A new garage door. If you need one, this could be your lucky day. Entries are open now for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Yes, I said $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of your choice. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards those products. And the deadline to enter is the end of this month. We are at April 15th, so we have a little time, but you can't win if you don't enter. So here's how you do it. You go to overheaddoorstlouis.com. Overheaddoorstlouis.com. It's very easy. You put in a little information. It'll take you like a minute. And once you do that, you are in the $5,000 sweepstakes. Entries are open now at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. And yes, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is the one with the red ribbon, the one that's been around since 1926, celebrating 100 years this year, a century. Enter now at overheaddoorstlouis.com, the genuine, the original.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's best eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Today, the Cards, the Guardians.
Ameren Total Access 1120.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 6:38. On Tuesday, the Justice Department asked a federal appeals court to throw out the conspiracy convictions of members of the far-right groups Proud Boys and Oath Keepers. Their members were convicted in connection to the January 6th U.S. Capitol attacks in 2021. President Trump pardoned or commuted the sentences of more than 1,500 January 6 defendants. The Justice Department's actions will now erase the convictions of the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers members as well.
The feud between the Federal Reserve and the Trump administration continues. CBS News has learned that prosecutors from U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro's office went to the Federal Reserve's headquarters unannounced. They were turned away and instead given the contact information for the Fed's legal team. Fed Chair Jerome Powell has accused President Trump of ordering the investigation to try and pressure the central bank to lower interest rates.
Tens of millions of users of phones powered by the Android operating system could get some money from a $135 million class action settlement. Some users complain that Google's operating system caused their mobile devices to send data without their permission or knowledge. People who used an Android mobile device to connect to the internet over a cellular network from November 2017 to today could qualify for a small payment.
We'll continue the news in a moment. Sports 5 minutes away, but it's 6:40, and Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're doing okay out there as far as troubles go, Tom. It's getting a little busier, but still not bad all in all. This traffic report's a service of S&L Coins. If you're northbound on 55, north of Richardson up to the Merrimack River in that construction zone, you've got delays again from about the Union Road overpass up to the river to pair. It's bogged down a little bumper to bumper briefly at Bayless, but still slow past there to about Virginia. Northbound 270 drivers looking at some slower traffic approaching Big Bend to Manchester, and then just briefly at 64 South 270 around Ladue. That's slowing a bit. South 61 looks better, barely slow approaching 64. Eastbound 70 just kind of off the pace briefly at David Hochul Parkway, but no problems reported there. It could be a train crossing. That could be your trouble now on Route 3 once again at Queenie. Northbound Route 3 is jammed north of Jerome up to Queenie, so bumper traffic there. And westbound 64 is slow west of 50 through 159, but after that, it's clear sailing headed across the Poplar. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company in St. Louis Traffic Center.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
It is 6:41. Our AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg is joining us. And Joe, we have a day game for the Cardinals and an evening game for St. Louis City SC. So how are we looking?
I think the day game, we can get it in. I mean, right now I'm looking at the radar. Some thunderstorms have popped up near the Hannibal area, but those are obviously going to move northeastward and out of the area. But really from northwest Arkansas up through the Springfield area, up to just east of Kansas City, we're seeing some thunderstorms. Those are probably going to weaken, but they could come through as a couple of showers here later this morning and early this afternoon. So don't be surprised by a shower at the ball game this afternoon. The concern is late this afternoon, early tonight, though. So some heavier thunderstorms that will develop and come through the area. Those could produce severe weather, damaging winds, hail, and flooding downpours. And I think things quiet down late tonight. We'll get to 79 today, tonight's low 65. Tomorrow, it dries out. Clouds give way to some sun. A warm day to high 85. Friday, some sun, then building clouds, breezy and very warm. Our high 87 could be a thunderstorm in the afternoon. I think those thunderstorms could turn severe Friday night. Saturday, a morning shower, then windy and much chillier as clouds break for some sun, but only in the low 60s. Low 60s with sunshine on Sunday. Right now, it's warm. 71 already at St. Peter, 72 in Florissant. Mostly cloudy, 73 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Joe, thank you very much. At 6:42, Hezbollah has resumed firing dozens of rockets at northern Israel, even as Israel and Lebanon held their first diplomatic talks in more than 30 years. CBS reporter Linda Gradstein has the latest from Jerusalem.
The continued rocket fires seem to show how difficult it will be for Lebanon to disarm Hezbollah as part of any peace agreement with Israel. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who mediated the talks, said they were a historic opportunity to end Hezbollah's influence in the region. Lebanon called for a ceasefire and measures to address its humanitarian crisis. Lebanon says more than 2,000 people have been killed since March in Israeli attacks.
Overseas, Buckingham Palace releasing more details of the King and Queen's state visit to the U.S. later this month.
I'm Vicki Barker in London. Palace officials have confirmed the King will not meet victims of Jeffrey Epstein, at least not while police investigations into Brother Andrew's connections with the convicted sex offender are ongoing here.
They say that the King and Queen can't have those meetings in private in case it risks any potential investigation.
The Times of London's Roya Nika. But Queen Camilla will meet other survivors of sexual and domestic abuse, a cause close to her heart, having revealed she herself was sexually assaulted as a teenager. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
2 members of Congress face allegations of sexual misconduct and say they are stepping down as lawmakers.
Representatives Eric Swalwell and Tony Gonzalez made their resignations official on the House floor. It comes after threats to expel both members following allegations of sexual misconduct. Swalwell, a California Democrat, has been accused of sexual assault by several women. He says the allegations are false. Gonzalez, a Texas Republican, admitted to an extramarital affair with a congressional staffer who later died by suicide. Both lawmakers were under investigation by the House Ethics Committee. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Maine may become the first state to ban large data centers that power AI.
The state legislature passed a bill that would ban any new data centers that draw more than 20 megawatts of power. Democratic State Representative Melanie Sachs proposed the ban.
These are huge energy factors.
Republican State Senator Matt Harrington says the ban is a bad idea.
Historically, Maine has a long track record of missing the boat on economic opportunity, and we're seeing it yet again.
It's not clear if Democratic Governor Janet Mills will sign the bill into law. She wanted to allow for one data center. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Today is Jackie Robinson Day in Major League Baseball.
Jackie Robinson, as busy as you are, we don't feel badly about imposing on your time because I know you never did have any trouble getting from one base to another.
Not at all, Jack.
And thank you very much for your visit here this afternoon.
Well, it's a pleasure, and I want to say to your audience, I appreciate the kinds of questions that they sent in. You must have an interesting 2-hour session here. Is this a daily thing?
Yes, it is. 1 hour of the each day we give over to something of this sort. We cover every phase of living and life, and we have a lot of fun on the program.
Well, I'm sure you do, and I appreciate your giving me the time to be on, and I hope that your listeners understand my feelings on this thing. You know, I was told a short time ago that I have no right to protest about what's going on here. They pointed out the fact that Jackie Robinson, Negro, has been given a job in baseball by the white man, a job at Chock-full of Nuts by the white man, a job that millions of Caucasians are envious of. I sat down and answered this letter, but just by saying that it's true that I've been very fortunate here in this country, and there's no question about the advantages I have. But, you know, as an American Negro, and people implying that I have made, I can say to everyone here in St. Louis that I don't know of one Negro here in this country that has it made until the most underprivileged Negro in this country has it made. Therefore, we must protest until all phases of discrimination are eliminated here in this country.
Jackie Robinson on KMOX, October 31st, 1962. Last night, Busch Stadium, the Cardinals started chipping away. J.J. Weatherholt had a home run in the third inning, and then in the eighth inning, he cracked another one, a 2-run shot to cut the lead to 5-4. The Cardinals were down to their last out in the ninth inning when Mason Wynn reached on an error. He went to second on a wild pitch, and then Joel Pozo drove him in with a hit, and the Cardinals were in business. They had a 5-5 game stretch all the way to the 10th. Thomas Saggese, the ghost runner at second, he jumps in there and goes to third on a wild pitch, and Nathan Church.
Tim Herron is set, and the pitch, that ball is hit into right field. Fairly deep. Saggese tagging at third, and he's going to try to score. The throw is offline, and he is safe. The Cardinals win it. A sacrifice fly off the bat of Nathan Church. And the Cardinals win it in extra, and they're mobbing Church on the middle of the field.
What a scene for the Cardinals. They come back again, their 7th comeback win, and they pick it up 6-5 over the Guardians. They'll play today on Jackie Robinson Day at Busch Stadium, 12:15 start against Cleveland for Dustin May. The Blues won 7-5. They were down 4-1 last night to the Penguins, came roaring back in the second period to even the match, and then they win it 7-5 in their final home game of the season. They will not make the playoffs. St. Louis City SC is in the U.S. Open Cup round of 32. It's tonight. They take on FC Tulsa, and we will have that one on KMOX for you tonight with a 7 o'clock start. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, and we are discussing esophageal cancer with Dr. Raymond Jin, WashU Medicine medical oncologist at Siteman Cancer Center. Dr. Jin, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Is there anything that one can do to prevent esophageal cancer?
Sure, that's a topic that's near and dear, close to my heart. What's interesting for me is that the esophageal cancers we see here in the West in the United States are kind of what we call distal, so they're kind of further down, and they start from the inside and grow out. They all kind of originate from a precursor state called Barrett's esophagus. It's basically caused by years of chronic reflux. So if, a GI person does an endoscopy, sticks a camera down there, we can actually see these Barrett's lesions.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Americans demanded border security, and House Republicans delivered. According to the Department of Homeland Security, for 10 consecutive months, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has reported 0 illegal aliens released at the border. I'm proud to have worked with the Trump administration to secure our southern border and uphold our immigration laws, and will keep fighting to advance strong policies that protect Missourians and keep America safe.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Each year in St. Louis, 10 women are recognized for volunteer leadership that changes lives. They support families, strengthen communities, and create opportunities where they're needed most. Join us Tuesday, May 19th at the Ritz-Carlton for the 2026 Women of Achievement Awards Luncheon. Celebrate their impact and be part of a tradition more than 70 years strong. Reservations available at WOASTL.org. For more information, go to KingdomOX.com/events.
Now the news at 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 6:50. This is Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterey, along with Tom Ackerman and Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, heading out the door and getting going, nothing really out of the ordinary for you on the drive-in. You do have that slow traffic northbound 55 north of Richardson, most of the way up to the Merrimack, from the Union Road overpass up through that Holly Hills area. Is busy at a few spots. Slowed down a bit. North 270 at Gravois, then approaching Big Bend up to Manchester, and briefly again through 64. South 270, Olive down into the Ladue construction zone. There's heavy traffic. Still seeing a little bit of a slowdown. Eastbound 70 at David Hokel Parkway, then east of A to Lake St. Louis Boulevard. It's busy up the hill. Mid-Rivers toward 370, there's a little congestion right now as well. Southbound 61, just slow on the crossover to 64, and 64 really doesn't look that bad through Lake St. Louis Boulevard. South 170 through Brentwood Boulevard, that's just a little crowded. Route 3, I mentioned earlier about delays at Queenie. It looks like we have backed up traffic sort of in pockets coming up from north of Jerome all the way through Monsanto now. Southbound isn't as bad there. And westbound 6450 to 159 is slow. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
As for our weather, AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg says mostly cloudy, breezy, not as warm today. A couple of showers and a thunderstorm. He thinks the Cardinals game should be okay today. The 12:15 start, 7 o'clock start for City SC. Late this afternoon, early this evening, a thunderstorm could be rolling through here. Severe, possibly, with damaging winds, hail, flooding, downpours. We'll keep an eye on all of it. Cloudy late tonight, low 65. Tomorrow, clouds give way to sun and a high of 85 degrees. Currently, it's 71 downtown.
The news continues at 6:52. Illinois Governor Pritzker says while the state's population continues to grow, something is holding Illinois back. He spoke yesterday about the state's housing crisis, saying the issue is limiting the Illinois economy.
Frankly, it makes it harder for us as a state to attract even more businesses to a vibrant area. But, you know, when you hear from businesses, they can't find enough housing for the people that they'd want to hire to work in the factories there.
His solution, a new incentive called the BUILD program, which aims to make it easier, faster, and more cost efficient to build homes in Illinois. Pritzker says the program will streamline permit costs and close financing gaps for new housing developments.
Law enforcement officials with the U.S. Marshals Service, Southern District of Illinois, Great Lakes Regional Fugitive Task Force executed an operation that led to 21 arrests. WPSD reports the U.S. Attorney's Office says the operation targeted violent fugitives with felony warrants and identified gang members in Southern Illinois. 4 firearms and 12 grams of narcotics were confiscated. Some of the suspects were wanted for homicide, major drug trafficking, and weapons violations. One of the suspects was arrested in Edwardsville.
With new dining options and a bigger purse, Fairmount Park excited to open the new horse racing season.
With stands packed and parking hard to find, General Manager Vince Gabbert is excited to see the fans embracing the racetrack and the work they've done to improve it. I asked him if legalized sports gambling is helping grow horse racing.
We're the only racino within about a 5-hour drive of here, and with no pari-mutuel wagering being available in Missouri, the opportunity for folks to come across the river and experience something they can't in Missouri is pretty extraordinary for us.
The nice weather has certainly helped draw fans back to the track.
I haven't been here in years. I figured I'd come over and see what it's all about and the new experience with the casino and everything else. So, no, it's been great.
What drew you this year?
Just a day, just looking for a day out, and I figured I'd come over and enjoy the afternoon since it's a beautiful day.
Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Rockwood South Middle School students are organizing and hosting a pet adoption event this Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. They've invited multiple animal rescue groups and shelters to the event, hoping to find permanent homes for as many dogs and cats as possible. 7th grade social studies teacher Becky Sabelski said this is also a chance for her to teach students event organization skills, professionalism, and the importance of community service.
I heard it's somebody's birthday. Come celebrate our customer appreciation.
Well, it is somebody's birthday. Go right ahead.
Oh, sorry. Tom's going to sing the birthday
No, I'm not.
music. Well, okay. Today's birthday shout out is sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. Happy birthday wishes going out to Ellie Simmons. Happy 11th from the O'Donnell family. Happy 55th birthday to Lisa Ross from her friend BH. Karen Schmidt from the Game Nighters. Also, happy 102nd birthday to Shirley Courtois of Belleville. And happy birthday wishes to Ron Waterman.
It's 6:55.
25th and save up to 10 to 20% on trees, shrubs, annuals, tropicals, perennials, houseplants, and more. KMOX will be live on Saturday. Visit www.chesterfieldvalleynursery.com for more details.
The Laterman Law Firm. I've been working with them for about 20 years now. And if you're in the St. Louis area, you should too. I hear this all the time from people in St. Louis. I have an estate plan, or, I think we have one, or we did that years ago. We've been meaning to look at it again. Look, here's the issue. Estate plans are not one and done. And at the Laterman Law Firm, what I've learned is most plans don't fail because people don't care. They fail because life changes and the plan doesn't keep up. Changes in your life, your assets, changes in the law. At Laterman Law Firm, it isn't just paperwork. It's an ongoing process. They build your estate plan to protect your family and your property. And then for a fixed annual fee, the Laterman Law Firm actually helps maintain it so it stays aligned with all of those changes. And that's a big reason we've stayed with them all these years. So if you're in the St. Louis metro area, including Illinois, and you want an estate plan that actually works, call the Laterman Law Firm. Laterman, Laiderman, law.com, or call 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Here is Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, if you're coming in on eastbound Highway 70, not bad. It's a little busy passing Highway A and approaching Lake St. Louis Boulevard. That's a stall right near 370. They were trying to get out of one of the center lanes. I think it's the right center lane, so that's why it's heavy coming up the hill from Mid-Rivers there. Northbound 270, a little busy through Gravois. Big Bend up through Manchester. Southbound through Ladue is a little crowded. Northbound 55. Approaching 141 and Bayless up across River to Pears busy. Westbound 64, west of 50 through 159 slow on the Illinois side. Next update at 7:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Another Tuesday night, another night of dissension on the St. Louis County Council. I'm Maria Aquina with details.
I'm Debbie Monterey along with Tom Ackerman.
What's it mean for U.S. Catholics when the president is upset with the Pope? This is KMOX religion editor Fred Bodimer. Coming up, we'll hear from a professor who looks at the intersection of politics and religion.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Mostly cloudy, breezy today, and not as warm as yesterday. A couple of showers, even a later afternoon thunderstorm, the high 79.
We don't want any thunderstorms, Joe, because we have two events going on in St. Louis today, both downtown. The Cardinals and the Guardians. City against FC Tulsa. We'll have a preview for you on the way at 7:15. At the Tone, it's 7 o'clock.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by DEA Take Back Day.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Trump has just given a hopeful assessment of the war in Iran. He tells Fox Business,
I think it's close to over. Yeah, I view it as very close to over. You know what? If I pulled up stakes right now, it would take them 20 years to rebuild that country.
correspondent Weijia Jiang is at the White House.
Trump sounded optimistic Tuesday about a second round of negotiations, suggesting something could be happening over the next 2 days. A U.S. official told CBS News the U.S. asked Iran to stop enriching uranium for 20 years, along with, quote, all kinds of other restrictions, but Iran refused.
Today, Iran's military warned it would block trade through the Red Sea and the Gulf of Oman if the U.S. continues its naval blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Gas prices in the U.S. are at an average $4.12 a gallon today. Californians paying about $5.88. Chevron executive Andy Walsh's suggestion to CBS News.
Look, people should try to drive less. They should try to conserve energy. We should be doing that all the time.
Another round of devastating storms has ripped through the Midwest. Tornadoes damaged homes in Iowa and Wisconsin. David Magno lives west of Milwaukee.
Every tree is down in the backyard. One hit the neighbor's house. I got one in the garages right into the roof. Yeah, it was wicked.
CBS's Usher Qureshi is in Sussex, Wisconsin.
Snapped trees and down power lines around us. The siding ripped off the church just behind me. Now, this area just can't catch a break. Now cleaning up from rounds of severe weather 2 days in a row.
Hail the size of softballs punched holes through car windows. Maine may become the first state to ban large data centers that power AI.
The state legislature passed a bill that would ban any new data centers that draw more than 20 megawatts of power. Democratic State Representative Melanie Sachs proposed the ban.
These are huge energy factors.
Republican State Senator Matt Harrington says the ban is a bad idea.
Historically, Maine has a long track record of missing the boat on economic opportunity, and we're seeing it yet again.
It's not clear if Democratic Governor Janet Mills will sign the bill into law. She wanted to allow for one data center. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
He was one of many celebrities whose belongings burned in last year's wildfires in L.A.
This smoldering ruin is all that's left of Billy Crystal's home of 46 years.
Now the comedian will bring the story of his loss to Broadway in October.
It's all the funny stories and touching stories that have happened to us in that time.
Crystal tells CBS's Stephen Colbert he'll call his solo show 860, his street address in the Pacific Palisades. This is CBS News.
Help keep our community safe and healthy during National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, April 25th. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the Mirror Fast soft shoes, smart move.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirror Fast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, girl.
From the makers of Miralax, new Mirafast soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Find Mirafast today at your local retailer. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
It is 7:04, and right now in downtown St. Louis, we've got cloudy skies, 70 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Two separate shootings leaves one man dead and four others critically injured. St. Louis police spokesman Mitch McCoy says the first shooting outside a market at Martin Luther King Drive in Garrison was not a random incident.
It's my understanding that the shooting itself happened in front of the Gateway Market. There were reports of other shootings that came in. I think that was because of the numerous calls. It's very possible that one of the victims called and said they were at a different location, but everything is contained to here.
The second shooting left another adult man critically injured. That happened around 10 o'clock last night in the 5,000 block of Goodfellow.
The St. Louis NAACP wants inmate deaths at the downtown city jail to be investigated as negligent homicides. The chapter president, Adolphus Pruitt, says hospital staff told him inmates are arriving without basic medical information or history complicating treatment. He went on to say if any of those issues led to any of the 20 inmate deaths since 2020, then it's a homicide and someone should be charged.
Also, the tense St. Louis County Council meeting happened again. The areas of contention, budget cuts or lack of funding. And now the latest, the executive suing the council.
Last night, the council did correct an error and provide an additional $700,000 for the revenue department. Several of the workers from that department spoke before the council.
I hear your concerns, and I know you're anxious. You're worried about furloughs, and you're concerned about your jobs. I know you've heard dismissive comments from the council, including last week's remarks from a council. You should just tattle on one another if you feel one of your colleagues is not doing enough.
Chairwoman Rita Hurd Days does not agree with the county executive.
If I were the county executive, I would be ashamed to sit here and look at you and know that the fear-mongering of furloughs, losing your jobs, is what's being talked about tonight.
The next council budget hearing will be 1 week from today. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
County Executive Sam Page set to leave the country this weekend. He'll be on the British Airways inaugural flight from St. Louis to London, but ahead of that trip, Page filed a lawsuit seeking to block County Chairwoman Rita Hurd Days from assuming the powers of the county executive by saying he is effectively absent. Page says he does not trust the council won't abuse power in his absence.
There was past behavior and a very clear statement from the council chair that she intended to assume the executive authority when I leave town.
Did you bring those concerns up with her in the Monday meeting? And if so, what was her response?
We didn't go through the list of hypothetical disagreements in policy.
The move comes amidst a budget crisis with furloughs and layoffs on the horizon. KMOX asked Page how much this lawsuit would cost.
I don't know what this lawsuit costs taxpayers. It won't cost them nearly as much as the chaos that would ensue if there's any lack of clarity over who's county executive.
KMOX has reached out to Chairwoman Hurd Days for comment.
The new sloth atrium opens at the zoo today. The open-air habitat is inside the primate house and features two-toed sloths. The vine system in the exhibit is movable, so it can mimic a changing tropical rainforest. Later this year, visitors will be allowed to take behind-the-scenes tours.
From the KMOX business desk, small business optimism fell in March as reports of profit trends worsened. The NFIB Small Business Optimism Index fell 3 points in March, falling below the 52-year average, while the Uncertainty Index rose 4 points from February to 92. That is well above the average of 68.
NFIB chief economist Bill Dunkelberg says the dramatic spike in oil and gas prices has spooked customers and business owners alike, and positive profit trends fell 11 points. The percentage of owners who expect better conditions fell 7 points.
It is now 7:08, and we'll have the update for you on traffic and weather coming up next.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline. So I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. Ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Dell PCs with Intel inside are built for the moments you plan and the ones you don't. For the time you forgot your charger at the gate.
Passengers, we are now on our initial ascent.
Or when you're bouncing between projects like a ping pong ball. We build PCs with long-lasting battery life, so you're not scrambling for an outlet. And built-in intelligence, so you can stay focused on whatever you're doing. Dell Technologies, built for you. Dell.com/Dell PCs.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
All right, let's get back to the roadways. Roger Brand, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, if you're traveling on eastbound Highway 70, we've got slow traffic now that extends from, T.R. Hughes, really, all the way up the hill to 370. It was due to an earlier stall. I believe I just heard the officer say they cleared it to the shoulder. I think it was in the right center lane when it was out there. But, again, still very busy on eastbound 70 running through there. Eastbound 64 is a little slow. Prospect, most of the way to Lake St. Louis Boulevard opens up before you get there. After that is clear sailing all the way in through 170. If you're on northbound 270, 55 up to about the Sappington or overpass is heavy, and then north of Manchester up to the Ledoux construction zone's heavy. We're backed up on northbound 55, north of Richardson up through 141 to the Merrimack, backed up again from the Union Road overpass up to Weber, but still slow all the way through Virginia. After that, northbound Telegraph, the south of Baumgartner up to Pottle looks kind of heavy. And on the Illinois side, westbound 64 roadwork delays from 50 through 159. Next update is 720 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Mostly cloudy today, breezy, not as warm as yesterday. A couple of showers throughout the day, even a thunderstorm later, the high 79. Those thunderstorms late this afternoon and early tonight can be severe with damaging wind gusts, hail, and flooding downpours. Lingering clouds late tonight, those 65. Clouds break for some sun tomorrow, a warm day, high 85. Friday, some sun, then increasing clouds, breezy, very warm and rather humid in the afternoon with a chance of a thunderstorm. Friday's high 87. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is cloudy and 70 degrees in downtown St. Louis.
Immigration enforcement in Missouri has nearly tripled over the past year. New data from the Deportation Data Project shows more than 3,200 people have been taken into custody by ICE across Missouri since January 2025. Our partners at Fox 2 report that number is 2.7 times higher than it was a year ago. This makes Missouri one of the top states experiencing a spike in immigration enforcement in the U.S.
The Missouri Military Academy is being sued by a 12-year-old student over sexual assault allegations.
The lawsuit claims that a 15-year-old cadet was assigned to share a room with a 12-year-old cadet near the beginning of the 2025-26 school year and almost immediately began sexually assaulting him. The victim's attorney claims the Missouri Military Academy has a history of not protecting younger cadets from older ones and has tolerated a climate of abuse, assault, and hazing. MMA President Richard Geraci sent a statement to Missouri Net calling the allegations in the lawsuit, quote, unsubstantiated and without merit. Marshall Griffin, Missouri Net.
Also this morning, Illinois Senator Dick Durbin teaming up with Senator Josh Hawley to hold big tech responsible for causing harm to children.
We've seen this story before. I know about it personally. It was called Big Tobacco in those days. It's Big Tech today. Big Tobacco knew its product was addictive. Like Big Tech, Big Tobacco knew that if you could hook a kid at a young age, you had a customer for life, albeit a short life in many instances. And like Big Tech, Big Tobacco used its deep pockets to oppose and kill congressional efforts to address the harms. But eventually, the dam broke.
Senator Hawley says you can't keep the lid on this any longer.
And I want to say that this press conference, this legislation, this moment is about one simple principle, which is that no amount of profit by the big tech companies justifies destroying the lives of America's children.
Every Democrat and every Republican on the Senate Judiciary voted in support of legislation to hold big tech accountable. Senators Durbin and Hawley were asking the rest of the Senate to follow suit.
Already, because of Trump's unjustified, unwanted, unauthorized war of choice, 13 of our heroes are dead and hundreds more have been wounded.
Combat war veteran and U.S. Senator Tammy Duckworth saying she will force Senate Republicans to vote today on her war powers resolution to end the war in Iran.
From the moment this conflict began, Trump has tried to shroud his incompetence behind the valor of our service members. When asked to justify his illegal actions, he's tried to hide his ignorance and cowardice behind their courage.
Duckworth says when service members are given a mission, they don't say, why me? They don't ask, will I be safe?
No. Instead, they pack their rucksacks, they lace up their boots, and they show up, and they do what is asked of them.
Last night's Blues game was one of a kind to celebrate American Sign Language Awareness Night against the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Blues held an alternative broadcast designed specifically for the deaf and hard of hearing community. The broadcast was entirely delivered in ASL and included live play-by-play and commentary to ESPN subscribers. The NHL started doing ASL, American Sign Language, broadcasts for select championships in 2022, but last night's game was a first for a local game and for the St. Louis Blues. The Blues won the game 7-5 over the Penguins. They were down 4-1, rallied with 3 goals in the third period, and then won it. A couple of goals in the game for Jimmy Snuggerud. He had 4 points overall. Dylan Holloway had 2 goals and an assist. Boy, that line's going to be good next year. Holloway and Snuggerud and Robert Thomas, if they all stick together as the Blues go into the offseason with the new general manager, Alex Steen. We'll talk to the outgoing manager, Doug Armstrong, on Sports on a Sunday morning. He's going to stay on as president of hockey operations, but he will hand the GM duties over to Steen. Now for our cut of the game, it's sponsored by the Diamond Shop, thediamondshop.net. It's got to be this, isn't it? As the Cardinals tied the game in the 9th inning on a hit by Joel Pozo. The way they got there was pretty wild. J.J. Weatherholt hit a 2-run homer in the 8th. That made a 5-2 Guardians lead, 5-4. Then in the 9th inning with 2 outs, Mason Wynn grounds the ball to second, but the second baseman boots it. It's an error. He takes second on a wild pitch, and then he scores on the Pozo hit. The Cardinals went to the 10th, tied 5-5. They have a runner at second base to start it. That's Thomas Saggese. He goes to third on a wild pitch. Is Cleveland going to give this away? Nathan Church.
Tim Herron is set, and the pitch. That ball is hit into right field. Fairly deep. Saggese tagging at third, and he's going to try to score. The throw is offline, and he is safe. The Cardinals win it. A sacrifice fly off the bat of Nathan Church. And the Cardinals win it in extra, and they're mobbing Church on the middle of the field as the Cardinals, a dramatic comeback win. They've done it 7 times now. A home run by Weatherholt in the 8th, Pozo a big double in the 9th, and Church the RBI in the 10th. What a game here at Busch Stadium.
Cardinals get the win 6-5. They'll try to go for a series win this afternoon, 12:15 first pitch for Dustin May. We have a doubleheader on KMOX today. The Cardinals playing at 12:15, and City will play tonight at 7. They're in the U.S. Open Cup round of 32 against FC Tulsa, coming off a road point at Dallas, starting to feel like this young team is coming together. Sporting Director Corey Ray.
For us, it's about just continuing to make the guys believe that we do have an opportunity here. And if we keep playing the way we're going to play and, eventually we continue to get guys back and add some pieces.
There is a pretty sizable amount of tickets available tonight. So if you want to check it out, you can go to Energizer Park. If you've not been in there, this is your opportunity tonight as they take on FC Tulsa. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals and City and the Billikens, 104.1 FM KMOX.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Man, I love this place.
I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Now the news at 1 the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
7:21, time to get you updated on traffic and weather. Roger Brand's keeping his eye on things. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're slow on eastbound 70, Debbie, right now from K to TR Hughes and from 79 up to 370 where we had an earlier stall. Southbound 61, you've got slow traffic, Wentzville Parkway on to 64 to about Lake St. Louis Boulevard. It opens up before you get there. After that, just barely a slowdown at the Interbelt. Westbound 64, Bellevue out to Hanley starting to get a little heavier. Southbound 270, south of Olive de Ladou's crowded. Northbound 270, backs up as you ramp on from 55. It's off the pace through Gravois, and then again Doherty Ferry all the way up to Ladue. Northbound 55 delays north of Richardson most of the way up to the Merrimack. The right lane south of Butler Hill to 270. All lanes from the Union Road overpass up through Holly Hills pretty busy. Northbound Telegraph south of Baumgartner through Pottles backed up. Northbound Route 3 a little busy coming up through Queenie. Westbound 64 50 through 159. Then it's kind of heavy across the Poplar, and even eastbound 370 starting to see a little roadwork slowdown through Highway 94. Next update at 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
According to AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg, we will see some thunderstorm activity when that arrives. Looks like afternoon or evening. At least there's a chance of that, and there is a chance of it being severe. So we'll watch out for it today. Low of 65 tonight. High will get up to 79 today. We crank up to 85 tomorrow with more sun. Currently, it's 70 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 7:22. You can get a ride from a driverless car in a number of U.S. cities right now, but advocates for labor and public transit say a proposal to greenlight autonomous vehicles on some Illinois streets would make the state less safe.
You might have seen a Waymo electric SUV on your drive-in today. They're not picking up passengers and they're not driving themselves, but the autonomous cab company that's part of Google's parent company is considering adding Chicago to its service area, which now covers 10 U.S. cities. In Springfield yesterday, Chris Duncan from Teamsters Local 727 warned the technology could cause cuts in everything from cab and rideshare drivers to paratransit bus and heavy truck operators.
We're being told that driverless vehicles are progress, that automation will create new opportunities. But there's reality. When good jobs disappear, they are not replaced.
And Joint Council 25 President Tom Steedy cited reports of crashes and traffic blockages involving robo-taxis, mostly operating in warm weather cities.
Can you imagine how much worse it would be in the city of Chicago with the winters that we have?
They want lawmakers to reject a proposal setting up a 3-year test program for driverless cars in Chicago and 2 other areas. Jeff Buckles, News Radio 105.9. WBBM.
Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker says while the state's population continues to grow, something is holding Illinois back. Pritzker spoke about the state's housing crisis at a conference yesterday, saying the issue is limiting Illinois' economy.
Frankly, it makes it harder for us as a state to attract even more businesses to a vibrant area. But, you know, when you hear from businesses, they can't find enough housing for the people that they'd want to hire to work in the factories there.
His solution, a new incentive called the BUILD program, which aims to make it easier, faster, and more cost-efficient to build homes in Illinois. Pritzker said the program will streamline permit costs and close financing gaps for new housing developments.
President Trump has criticized Pope Leo for his disapproval of mass deportations and the war in Iran. Vice President J.D. Vance reiterating Trump's statements on Fox, saying the Vatican should stick to matters of morality. And the president should stick to dictating American public policy.
How important is the Catholic voting bloc for Mr. Trump?
Oh, it's incredibly important. After white evangelicals, there's no more important voting bloc to Republican politicians in this country than Catholics, particularly white Catholics.
Brian Burge is a political scientist and professor of practice at WashU's Danforth Center on Religion and Politics. Historically, Burge says older white Christian people tend to be Republican.
I mean, I wonder if that's over, and a lot of older white Catholics are going to look around, and you're actually seeing a lot of stories, a lot of anecdotes saying, I'm a white Catholic. I've supported Donald Trump from, his entire time, the last 10, 15 years. But man, he's gone too far.
Which is important for the upcoming midterm elections.
And a really good chance the Democrats take back at least the House, if not the House and the Senate.
Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
St. Louis City is making adjustments to roadways, both adding and removing safety measures simultaneously.
Scott Ogilvie, a planning executive with St. Louis City, says the city has a lot more simultaneous work going on now than in recent memory.
Tucker is under construction from Choteau up to Washington Avenue. That project consisted of resurfacing, but also the addition of what we call a cycle track or a bikeway on the west side of the street that is being built right now.
And other major roadways in the city are seeing similar work.
Goodfellow is one of the ARPA repaving and safety corridors, so that is very much under construction. Most of that resurfacing work is done. And then some of those safety features will get layered in now that the pavement is new. And South Jefferson is at roughly the same point.
But while Tucker is receiving bump outs, a few blocks over, some are being removed from downtown. Ogilvie says this is not uncommon.
When we do corridor design, it is actually somewhat typical for there to be some changes made in the field just to reflect the conditions. Or sometimes there are some operational changes that are made to a project design after construction, which is the case with near Broadway and Market, which I think has been well covered.
Some of the work on Tucker is making significant changes to the curb with new bump outs carving in bike lanes. What does that mean for the parking situation?
The design of that project, the cycle track runs between the curb and then there's a concrete barrier. But there's going to be a new parking lane that's just separated from, where the sidewalk is or where those meters are. But people will still be able to park in that lane and pay at the existing meters. There's not, there won't be much change to the availability of parking in that corridor.
He said southbound Tucker didn't have to be 4 lanes wide. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
It is going on 7:28, and the time check is sponsored for you by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Going back to 1860, Eberhard Anheuser purchased the Bavarian Brewery. And in 1864, Eberhard's son-in-law, Adolphus Busch, joined the business, and the two set about building what would become Anheuser-Busch. In 1876, 150 years ago, working alongside a St. Louis bottler, Carl Conrad, Anheuser-Busch developed a lighter, thirst-quenching lager, and they called it Budweiser. Budweiser has been around for 150 years, celebrating right now in 1876 to 2026. You know who else is 150 years old? Major League Baseball, the game of baseball. So they go hand in hand, don't they? A Budweiser, literally in your hand. Budweiser and Major League Baseball. Budweiser, that clean, crisp taste, medium-bodied, flavorful, American-style lager brewed with the best barley malt and a blend of hop varieties, and it is part of American history, and so is baseball. Major League Baseball and Budweiser. Boy, it's a beautiful thing. Find yours at a ballpark near you. And remember, crack open a Bud. This Bud's for you.
They're clear. Unregulated gaming devices are illegal. Companies have been telling businesses that gray market machines are legal. That's wrong. Don't be scammed. If you have these devices at your business, you could be subject to criminal and civil penalties. Unplug and remove these devices today.
If you've been approached to host illegal gaming machines, call now. 800-523-1434 or visit ago.mo.gov. Sponsored by the Attorney General's Office.
2026, I've been hearing from customers and friends that they're
utility bills went up quite a bit for the electric bill. That being said, and you're looking at buying a new air conditioner, you're thinking, hey, I guess let's just get an air conditioner so it helps with the electric bills. If you have an old system, it definitely can help you. But watch your thinking. Just because you are told this is a so-called high-efficient air conditioner, it's not going to save you nowhere near what you think it's going to save you. Just replacing your old equipment is the biggest thing, and make your house efficient. An air conditioner is not going to make your house efficient. That being said, it's a great time to purchase an air conditioner if you get the correct one. Don't overspend. Don't believe the hype. In other words, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Call me, Bart Inman, at 314, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Again, the easiest of numbers, 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. God bless.
It is 7:30. We have cloudy skies. It's a windy morning, and right now it's 71 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, if you're traveling in on eastbound Highway 70, we still have those slow pockets running from K. It's actually bumper to bumper in pockets there through TR Hughes to 79. It just remains sort of busy up the hill to Mid Rivers where we had that earlier stall. Southbound 270, 364 down to Ladue is slow. Southbound 61, midway down from P to Wensville Parkway onto 64 is heavy. It's slow through the Chesterfield Parkways and briefly at the Interbout. Westbound 64, Hampton headed out through Bellevue's bumper to bumper. Northbound 270, bogs down as you ramp on from 55 to Gravois, then north of 44 all the way up to Ladue. That's heavy. Northbound 55 north of Richardson up to the Merrimack slow. The right lane's coming through Butler Hill to 270. It's on the brakes from the Union Road overpass up to about Weber, but still slow north of there up through to Virginia. Northbound Telegraph south of Baumgartner to Pottles heavy. Westbound 64 backs up 50 through 159, and then there are slow pockets from the 70 split headed across the Poplar. Next update at 7:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is going to be a mostly cloudy day with a high of 79 degrees and a couple of showers and a thunderstorm around. But this afternoon and into early tonight, we could see some severe thunderstorms with flooding downpours, damaging winds, and maybe some hail. Overnight low of 65, and then tomorrow, clouds giving way to sun with a high of 85, currently 71 degrees.
A new lawsuit adds a new chapter to the drama between the St. Louis County Executive and Council.
County Executive Sam Page has filed a lawsuit against Rita Hurd Days, the council chairwoman, seeking to prevent her from assuming the powers of the county executive while he's overseas on a flight to London. Page is concerned permanent actions could be taken in his absence.
Council members are pressuring staff, have been pressuring staff to sign a lease that wasn't financially competitive for county government.
And if Page doesn't receive a judicial order ahead of his trip this weekend saying that he maintains his power while overseas,
then I can't leave.
In the background of all of this, County Executive Page continues his budget battle with the county council, saying that unless they get more funding, furloughs are coming, but he could not say how much this lawsuit will cost taxpayers. In Clayton, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
KMOX has put a call in for Chairwoman Rita Hurd Days, and we are waiting to hear back.
This council made a decision when the budget was passed that we would not cut any deeper so that you could have your jobs.
That is Chairwoman Rita Hurd Days talking to Revenue Department workers whose jobs are being threatened with furloughs. County Executive Page has been signaling for several weeks that those cuts would be needed.
The council has money to keep the county budget running. The council could tonight add $6.5 million from the $200 million surplus that the county has to prevent furloughs and service interruptions.
Now, I am absolutely appalled that the lengths that this administration would go through to scare you all into coming here tonight and act like the sky is falling. It is not falling. There is sufficient money in here to pay you for the rest of the year.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It's 7:34, your Money Minute next.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills. Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
At EasyCater,
We believe every workday gets better with great food. The 9 a.m. staff meeting? How about breakfast burritos and lots of coffee? Big client presentation at noon? Let's do Mediterranean bowls. Accounting's gotta work late. Keep them pepped up with spicy noodles. With EasyCater, you get a huge variety of favorite restaurants with tools to help meet dietary needs and stay on budget, all on one platform. So make every workday better with EasyCater. Start an order at easycater.com.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It is now 7:36, and your money report from Bloomberg is sponsored by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. The maker of Jeep and Chrysler has recently launched an effort to improve quality, offer more hybrid models, and repair ties with its dealers. It seems to be working for Stellantis. Global shipments jumped 12% in the first quarter, led by a surge in demand in North America. Leaders at the automaker have been conducting a review of its operations, the results of which will be presented at the end of May. Quick check of the markets. Stock futures are looking at slight losses this morning. The global oil market has been jolted by the Middle East conflict, triggering an unprecedented supply shock. And Anthropic is said to have received several offers from investors for a new round of funding that could value the artificial intelligence startup at about $800 billion or higher. The maker of the Claude chatbot has released a series of AI tools aimed at overhauling the way businesses handle tasks, from coding to cybersecurity. Those products seem to be resonating with a growing base of business customers. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
For nearly 100 years, Busey Wealth Management has helped families and businesses make smart financial decisions that stand the test of time. From personalized investment plans to tax strategies that work for you, we take a big picture approach, connecting you with the right experts to help protect what you've built and plan for what's next. Busey Wealth Management, here for every chapter of your financial story.
Soar with the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra in Rachmaninoff's Third. Taking Flight. Assistant conductor Samuel Hollister and pianist Gabriela Montero make their SLSO classical subscription debut in Prokofiev's thrilling Third Piano Concerto. Enjoy Gabriela Smith's sky-inspired Tumblebird Contrails, Rachmaninoff's Third Symphony, April 24th and 25th at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
Beat the spring cleaning rush at Zero Res. This is the perfect time to clean your air ducts as you deal with allergy season, furnace and air conditioning efficiency, post-winter, and more. Your air ducts are like the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, your indoor air suffers. Just check out the 5,900 Google reviews with 4.9 ratings. This month, get a whole system air duct cleaning for just $599. Pay less for fresh. 314-474-2020 or go online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Looking to build your dream home? Lombardo Homes is known for quality, luxury, and thoughtful design in some of the area's most desirable communities. And for a limited time this April, we're offering something we rarely do. Exclusive incentives designed to help you get more from your new home. From a free finished recreation room to premium kitchen and cabinet upgrades to flexible perks like design credits or closing cost savings, there's an opportunity waiting for you. But these offers are available in select communities and only for a short time. Visit LombardoHomes.com or stop by a sales office today.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, haven't practiced in a long time, but I did plaintiff's work and defense work, so I have a pretty good understanding of it. I have a pretty good idea of who's who in the firmament of plaintiffs' attorneys. And for my money, Mark Cantor is the guy. He's a great attorney. He is a great practitioner. He's put together a great team. He was born and raised here. He lives here. He works here. He wins here. Call 314-628-ALL-9s or CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision. It should not be based on advertisement.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Americans demanded border security, and House Republicans delivered. According to the Department of Homeland Security, for 10 consecutive months, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has reported 0 illegal aliens released at the border. I'm proud to have worked with the Trump administration administration to secure our southern border and uphold our immigration laws. And we'll keep fighting to advance strong policies that protect Missourians and keep America safe.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Today, the Cards, the Guardians.
Ameren Total Access 1120.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Jackie Robinson Day at the ballpark and across Major League Baseball today. We'll have that game for you with an 11:20 pregame. Right now, Roger Brand is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, we got a little trouble on eastbound 70 right now. This traffic reports a service to the Missouri Book Festival, April 18th in Washington, Missouri. It looks like we have an incident on eastbound 70 between Bryan Road and K. A little jam up there. I can't see what's blocking, but I can tell you it looks like it's a minor two-car crash in the left lane, eastbound 70, just past the T.R. Hughes overpass. So it's jammed as east of K up to that one. If you're on southbound 61, north of Wentzville Parkway onto 64, the Boulevard, it's heavy backed up through the Chesterfield Parkways to about Timberlake, McKnight through Big Bend, south 170 bogs down at Olive, westbound 64, Kings Highway headed out to Big Bend's heavy, south 270, 364 to Ladue, slow north 270. As you ramp on from 55 all the way to Ladue, heavy the whole way through there. Northbound 55 north of Richardson to the Merrimack is slow, backed up from the Union Road overpass to Weber, but still heavy all the way up through Virginia. And on the Illinois side, westbound 64 approaching 50 through 159 is slow. And then again from the 70 split headed across the Poplar. Bring your family and friends to the Missouri Book Festival on Saturday, April 18th in Washington, Missouri. You'll enjoy cooking demos, live theater, book talks, storytelling, and more, featuring authors from Missouri and beyond. Visit MissouriBookFestival.com for details. Next update is 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It is 7:41. We've got two major sporting events in St. Louis today. That would be the 12:15 baseball game for the Cardinals and the 7 p.m. City SC game this evening, Joe Lundberg.
All right. I think that the rain will be moving through the area between now and the start of the baseball game this afternoon. Maybe a delay at the start for some rain, but I don't think it moves out. And there's a several-hour break where not much happens. But late this afternoon, I'm talking like after 4 or 5 o'clock to probably midnight tonight, there's a risk for a couple of rounds of thunderstorms, and those could be severe. So I think it has a more of an impact than the evening contest. In between, we'll get to about 79. The thunderstorm threat could include hail and damaging winds and, of course, flooding downpours. Late tonight, the showers taper off and come to an end to those 65. Tomorrow, much better day. Clouds give way to some sun, mid-80s. Mid to upper 80s on Friday with some sun followed by clouds. Could be a thunderstorm in the afternoon. I think severe thunderstorms are probable Friday night. Saturday, a morning shower followed by some sun, but windy and much chillier. Only 62 on Saturday. Sunday, mostly sunny, breezy, and cool to high again in the low 60s. Right now, it's dry, 71 at St. Peter's and in Florissant. Mostly cloudy, 73 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Joe, thank you. It's 7:43 sports in 2 minutes. The latest from CBS on what's going on with the U.S. blockade of the Strait of Hormuz off Iran.
Ships heading into the Straits today. It's a bit of a mystery. We have no idea how or when their owners think they're going to get out again fully loaded.
Also in the news, some congressional vacancies. Democrat Eric Swalwell and Republican Tony Gonzalez are both stepping down after allegations of sexual misconduct. And CBS News political correspondent Caitlin Huey Burns has more.
A week of reckoning up here on Capitol Hill. There is no word yet on when Gonzalez's seat will be filled, but California Governor Gavin Newsom announced a special election to replace Swalwell will happen in late August, just before the midterms.
Maine may become the first state to ban large data centers that power AI.
The state legislature passed a bill that would ban any new data centers that draw more than 20 megawatts of power. Democratic State Representative Melanie Sachs proposed the ban.
These are huge energy factors.
Republican State Senator Matt Harrington says the ban is a bad idea.
Historically, Maine has a long track record of missing the boat on economic opportunity, and we're seeing it yet again.
It's not clear if Democratic Governor Janet Mills will sign the bill into law. She wanted to allow for one data center. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
A new warning about using AI to diagnose what ails you.
I'm Vicki Barker in London. A study of 5 popular chatbots published in the journal BMJ Open classifies half of their responses to medical queries as problematic, with 1 in 5 highly problematic and potentially posing a risk to users. There's a fatal flaw, says British family doctor Jess Harvey.
When they're using the current AI options that are there, they are trawling the internet and they're trawling everything that's on the internet.
Eventually, the researchers say dedicated medical chatbots will be developed that can harvest medical data and images and not just text. But until then, they warn that chatbot should not replace advice from your doctor. Vicki Barker, CBS News, London.
All right, let's get into some real stuff, and that's the fact that the Cardinals are playing baseball this afternoon, Jackie Robinson Day at Busch Stadium and across Major League Baseball, and the Cardinals are coming off a win, and here's how they did it. If you turned the game off yesterday because they were down 5-2, well, I've got a surprise for you. J.J. Weatherholt already had a home run in the game, runner on 8th inning.
But it didn't happen. There's a swing and a high fly ball. That's hit well to left field, and it's going to carry out of here. A home run just over the wall, over Stephen Kwan's head, and just over the retired Hall of Famers. The Cardinals have an answer. They're down by 1, 5-4 with 1 out in the 8th inning as Weatherholt has his first 2-home run game of his big league career.
That cut the lead to 5-4, and we'll give the bullpen some credit here because they've taken a lot of criticism lately. But Matt Swanson pitched a scoreless 9th inning to get this thing to the bottom of the 9th, and then you got to get some luck on your side sometimes. 2 outs, Mason Wynn.
There's a swing and a ground ball to second, and it's booted by Brito. Going into right field, and the Cardinals still have a life. And E4 keeps the game going. Wynn is the tying run at first with 2 outs.
For Joel Pozo.
The pitch. Pozo takes outside, and it's a wild pitch going to the bricks behind home plate. Now the tying run is at second with 2 outs. 1-0 on Joel Pozo. The 2-0 pitch for Joel Pozo. Here it comes. A swing and a base hit. Right center field. That's going to tie the game. The ball goes to the wall. Pozo goes into second, representing the winning run. The Cardinals were down to their last strike, and an error with a wild pitch opened the door, and the Cardinals have answered.
Oh, my. We're going to extra innings after a 5-5 tie, and Riley O'Brien comes in. He has an ERA of 0 this season. He shuts the door in the top of the 9th, opening things up for the Cardinals, possibly walking this off. Thomas Ajacey starts the inning at second base. He goes to third on a wild pitch. Here comes Nathan Church.
Tim Herron is set, and the pitch. That ball is hit into right field. Fairly deep. Ajacey tagging at third, and he's going to try to score. The throw is offline, and he is safe. The Cardinals win it. A sacrifice fly off the bat of Nathan Church.
Oh, my goodness. The Cardinals pull it off, and you know what? Everybody has gotten into it in this one. Here's Mike Claiborne with J.J. Weatherholt.
Yeah, I mean, for the past however many days, it's been Jordan Walker's show, and so it's so good to see him doing well, and then each and every day, like you're saying, a new guy seems to step up, so we're just going to continue to try to play off each other and continue to do so.
Well, it was a JJ show tonight. Sleep quick because we'll be right back here tomorrow.
Back at it tomorrow.
All right, thank you, sir. JJ Weatherholt, our player of the game.
12:15 start today, 11:20 for the pregame. Dustin May is the Cardinals starting pitcher. Blues also won. They showed off what they might be able to do next year, score a lot more goals. 7 goals last night in a 7-5 win over the Penguins in the final home game of the season. Coach Jim Montgomery.
The exciting part was we did, get back into the game and played really well in the second and third offensively. We were attacking with speed. We were attacking the back door, things that we haven't done enough of this year to score enough goals. And I thought the Thomas line was exceptional.
Thomas line featuring Dylan Holloway and Jimmy Snuggerud. That's going to be a really good line next year. City plays tonight at home. U.S. Open Cup round of 32, 7 o'clock start on KMOX against FC Tulsa. Ins and Outs sponsored by Innsbruck, where every day is the weekend. And isn't that the truth? Every day is the weekend at Innsbruck. It's a beautiful place to hang out with the family, with friends. You can rent a condo or a home there at Innsbruck, just an hour from most places in St. Louis, 45 minutes from our house, about a half hour from Chesterfield. It's in Warren County, and it is fantastic. It's everything you've heard and more. Fishing, hiking, golf, swimming, relaxing. Innsbruck is where it's at. And the secret is out for sure. Everybody seems to know about it now. Innsbruck-resort.com to get the most out of it. Innsbruck-resort.com. That's how you get started. I think you're really going to enjoy Innsbruck. Now, for our parlay of the day, sponsored by Circa Sports, sports betting the way it should be, I'm concentrating on these two play-in games in the NBA tonight. I like the Sixers in a pick'em over the Magic. The Magic played a really bad game at Boston recently. It's kind of disappointing. They were playing Boston's bench, basically, and blew it. So now they have to go on the road to play the Sixers. So I like Philly at home. I like the Warriors. That line's going up again. It's now +5. The Warriors at the Clippers tonight. I know the Clippers are a better team, but Golden State's going to hang in that, aren't they? Golden State +5, Sixers pick them. That's my Circa Sports parlay of the day.
Hey, Missouri, it's game time. Start betting like a pro with the world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circa Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high limits, player-friendly pricing, exceptional customer service, and more. Download your new bookie at circasports.com. The action starts now, Missouri. Experience the difference with Circa Sports. Bet like a pro.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get ready to laugh out loud, St. Louis. The outrageous Broadway hit Spam-A-Lot is riding into the fabulous Fox Theater May 5th through the 17th. From the twisted minds of Monty Python, this Tony Award-winning musical brings you killer rabbits, dancing knights, and non-stop hilarity. It's the legend of King Arthur like you've never seen it before. More information can be found at KMOX.com/events.
Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 7:51. Let's check traffic and weather. We start with Roger Brand in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we got an injury crash in Franklin County right now, Debbie. Eastbound 50 at Highway AJ. That's on the west side of Union. Sounds like the eastbound lanes are blocked and a building jam there. If you're on eastbound 370, you're jammed west of 94 up to the Discovery Bridge in the work zone. Southbound 61, north of Wensville Parkway into 64 to the Boulevards. Busy Boone's Crossing to about Timberlake. And east of 270 pockets all the way through the Interbelt. South 170 bogs down from almost Page down to 64. Westbound 64 Science Center to Hanley's busy. South 270 from 364 to Ladue slow. North 270, 55 to Ladue. That's busy. If you're on northbound 55, a little heavy approaching 141 to the Merrimack. Midway up from Merrimack Bottom through Butler Hills, slow to 270. It's backed up. Union Road overpass to River to Paris, still busy up through Holly Hills. 44 east of Jefferson over to the Poplar is heavy coming past the Arch Grounds. Westbound 64 west of 50 through 159. And Baugh Avenue to the bridge is heavy. And eastbound 5570 jammed at 157 midway to the Keebler overpass. Looks like road work going on there. Next update is 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
The weather today is going to be mostly cloudy. We could see a couple showers and a thunderstorm rolling through, a high of 79. However, thunderstorms that could roll through later this afternoon and into tonight could be very strong with damaging winds, hail, and flooding downpours. No storms in the forecast for tomorrow, just clouds giving way to sun and a high of 85. Currently 71 downtown.
Today is the deadline for filing your taxes. If you need more time, don't worry. There's a way to request an extension. Instead of filing a return, you can fill out a Form 4868, a short one-page form that extends your filing deadline until October 15th. However, the IRS is reminding citizens that by filling out that form, only your filing is extended. If you owe taxes, you will still have to pay it today, or you could face penalties.
The St. Louis County Council has released just over $700,000 to go to the Revenue Department.
This follows County Executive Dr. Sam Page is cutting back hours and closing county offices on Friday, particularly the Revenue Department, to catch up on a backlog of processing RECA requests, senior property tax freeze applications, and tax refunds. Chairwoman Rita Hurd Days.
Thank you for coming out this evening. And for spending the time that you could be spending with your families here to be part of a political pawn that you're being played. I just want to be honest with you. This council passed a budget that included money for each of your salaries.
Page has been saying for weeks that the next move will be to furlough county employees, something Day says is not needed.
If you lose your job, it's not because this council did not provide the money in your budget. It's because your department director or the county administration decided that for you.
Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
The city of St. Louis is putting in new bump outs downtown while taking old ones out. The projects to repave and expand the bike lanes on Tucker are not related to the bump outs being removed near Broadway and Market, says Scott Ogilvie, a planning executive with St. Louis City. He says it's not atypical to make changes to the design after construction.
Just means that, we are adjusting to kind of fit the desired operations in each location.
He says the improvements to Tucker will add more bike lanes and shift the parking lanes over. Similar work is being done on Goodfellow and South Jefferson.
The Central West End is getting a new high-end furniture store. Herman Miller will move into the Maryland Plaza storefront formerly occupied by Kendra Scott Jewelry. Herman Miller is now a part of the publicly traded company Miller Knoll, which has 15 brands and 85 stores around the world.
The St. Louis furniture maker and designer will showcase his work at the Smithsonian Craft Show, one of the most competitive showcases in the country. Martin Goebel of Goebel Furniture is one of 120 artists chosen from about 1,200 applicants for the Washington, D.C. show next week. Goebel is an adjunct professor of architecture at WashU. He is showcasing 4 pieces he says reflect a deep reverence for the history of craft.
With a $500,000 increase in their total purse, Fairmount Park is opening up their new racing season. General Manager Vince Gabbert says a bigger purse means better horses, and for fans, a greater experience.
We even saw it in the first race today with a 13-1 shot. That competitiveness, coming in and giving people more opportunities is huge for us, and it's great for the sport.
Fans like this one enjoying the new food and dining options.
Way better menu. Before it was just like hot dogs and popcorn. Now you can get pizza and burgers and anything you want pretty much.
The racing season runs through October 27th.
All right, always fun to get over there. It's 7:56.
Your home for St. Louis Cardinals baseball. 104.1 FM. KMOX.
This time of year, I know a lot of people who are rubbing and itching their eyes, and it's allergies, the tree count, the mold, the pollen. If it's something that is really bothering you, call Ophthalmology Associates. Allergic conjunctivitis could be an issue. Good to just get it sorted out. What I love about Ophthalmology Associates is they are so thorough. It's about more than just reading the eye chart and making sure your eyeglass prescription is up to date. That obviously is important. But when you go there, they are the doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. And they are doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer. They will make sure that your eyes are healthy, not just that your vision is good, because there's so much involved in the health of your eyes. I was diagnosed with dry eye disease, and I didn't realize that it was actually impacting my vision. My vision has improved because they discovered that I had dry eye disease, which is now being treated. Anyway, I'm just telling you, they are fantastic and very thorough. YourEyeDoc.com is where you can find them online, or call 314-966-5000. Ophthalmology Associates.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Dell PCs with Intel Inside are built for the moments you plan and the ones you don't. For the time you forgot your charger at the gate.
Passengers, we are now on our initial ascent.
Or when you're bouncing between projects like a ping pong ball. We build PCs with long-lasting battery life, so you're not scrambling for an outlet. And built-in intelligence, so you can stay focused on whatever you're doing. Dell Technologies, built for you. Dell.com/Dell PCs.
Our annual Customer Appreciation Days are back. Save 10 to 20% on your garden and landscape needs on April 24th through 25th. Visit www.chesterfieldvalleynursery.com for more details. KMOX will be live on site Saturday from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Hey, Roger Brand, what's going on out there? Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, a bigger jam on eastbound 50. It's from about double E now up to AJ on the west side of Union. That's due to an injury crash. The eastbound lanes were blocked. Northbound 55, bumper-to-bumper traffic from the Union Road overpass all the way up through Virginia. North 270 slow, 55 all the way up to Ladue. South 270, 364 down to about Olive. After that, not so bad. On the Illinois side, westbound 6450 through 159 is heavy. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. A new assessment from the president on the Iran war. Fox Business Maria Bartiromo asked,
"Is this war over?" I think it's close to over, yeah. I mean, I view it as very close to over.
Correspondent Weijia Jiang is at the White House.
With less than a week left in a fragile ceasefire, the U.S. and Iran remain locked in a stalemate after direct talks failed to produce a permanent peace deal.
We've beaten them militarily, totally. The only thing they have is the Gulf, and I think now, or the Strait, as they call it. And I think now, I don't know how they hold out.
The president claims China has agreed not to provide weapons to Iran. He also tells Fox he will fire Fed Chair Jerome Powell if he stays on beyond his term when it ends in May. He's been at odds with Powell over interest rates. Severe weather has slammed the Midwest for the second day in a row. Heavy wind in Wyoming, Iowa, tornadoes confirmed there, and in Wisconsin. Heavy rain flooded Karen Robinson's home in Green Bay.
Another foot and we'll be hitting the windows. My brother called, told me we should go buy sandbags, but my husband says don't leave the house in case the sump pump stops. So I don't know what to do.
California's former Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell is facing new allegations of sexual assault. Lana Drews claims he drugged and raped her after he offered to help with her career in 2018. CBS's Caitlin Huey-Burns from Washington.
A week of reckoning up here on Capitol Hill. There is no word yet on when Gonzalez's seat will be filled, but California Governor Gavin Newsom announced a special election to replace Swalwell will happen in late August, just before the midterms.
There's a new warning about using AI to diagnose what ails you. CBS's Vicki Barker has details from London.
A study of 5 popular chatbots published in the journal BMJ Open classifies half of their responses to medical queries as problematic, with 1 in 5 highly problematic and potentially posing a risk to users. There's a fatal flaw, says British family doctor Jess Harvey.
When they're using the current AI options that are there, they are trawling the internet and they're trawling everything that's on the internet.
NFL reporter Diana Rossini has resigned from The Athletic as it investigates her relationship with New England Patriots coach Mike Vrabel. Correspondent Michael Wallace.
I'm not just an NFL reporter. I'm an insider. So there's
Rossini is stepping down a week after photos emerged of her holding hands and hugging Vrabel at a luxury Arizona resort. Both are married. Both claim the photos lack context and their interactions were innocent.
Gas today, $4.11 a gallon. This is CBS News.
Every Sunday, moderator Margaret Brennan goes face-to-face with top leaders to make you better informed. Face the Nation, Sunday on CBS and streaming on Paramount.
At 8:03, we have cloudy skies, 72 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Wednesday, April 15th. I'm Megan Lynch.
This council made a decision when the budget was passed that we would not cut any deeper so that you could have your jobs.
St. Louis County Council Chairwoman Rita Hurd Days talking to Revenue Department workers whose jobs are being threatened with furloughs. St. Louis County Executive Sam Page has been signaling for several weeks that the cuts would be needed.
The council has money to keep the county budget running. The council could tonight add $6.5 million from the $200 million surplus the county has to prevent furloughs and service interruptions.
Chairwoman Days.
Now, I am absolutely appalled that the lengths that this administration would go through to scare you all into coming here tonight and act like the sky is falling. It is not falling. There is sufficient money in here to pay you for the rest of the year.
Before he leaves the country this weekend, Executive Page has filed a lawsuit.
St. Louis County Executive Sam Page says he is suing Chairwoman Rita Hurd Days to try to block her from assuming the executive's authority when he's out of the country on the inaugural British Airways flight from St. Louis to London. Page is concerned that the chairwoman could abuse her authority as county executive, taking action such as signing a deal for a temporary county headquarters while he's out of the country, and insists he is accessible via cell phone while away.
I don't know what would be attempted while I'm gone. All I know is that past behavior predicts future performance.
However, County Executive Page did not bring up any specific actions that Chairwoman Hurd Days might make during the meeting with her he had on Monday. In Clayton, Sean Malone, KMOX News.
KMOX has reached out to the County Council Chairwoman for response, and we'll get more from KMOX legal analyst Brad Young after the news. One man is dead, 3 others shot on Dr. Martin Luther King in Garrison Tuesday evening.
St. Louis Police spokesman Mitch McCoy.
I think right now, based off of our investigation, this wasn't random. We don't have random people hurt. It could have been a completely different story tonight based off of what we were able to see in some of the surveillance video of this shooting.
Then, less than 4 hours later, in the 5,000 block of Goodfellow, another adult man shot and critically injured. Police are asking anyone with information on either shooting to call the Homicide Division or Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
The St. Louis NAACP wants inmate deaths at the downtown city jail to be investigated as negligent homicides. Chapter President Adolphus Pruitt says hospital staff told him inmates are arriving without basic medical information or history, and that's complicating treatment. He went on to say, if any of those issues led to any of the 20 inmate deaths since the year 2020, then it's a homicide and someone should be charged. Illinois Senator Dick Durbin has teamed up with Missouri Senator Josh Hawley to hold big tech responsible for causing harm to children.
We've seen this story before. I know about it personally. It was called Big Tobacco in those days. It's big tech today. Big Tobacco knew its product was addictive. Like big tech, Big Tobacco knew that if you could hook a kid at a young age, you had a customer for life, albeit a short life in many instances. And like big tech, Big Tobacco used its deep pockets to oppose and kill congressional efforts to address the harms. But eventually, the dam broke.
Senator Hawley says you can't keep the lid on it any longer.
And I want to say that this press conference, this legislation, this moment is about one simple principle, which is that no amount of profit by the big tech companies justifies destroying the lives of America's children.
Every Democrat and Republican on the Senate Judiciary Committee voted in support of the legislation to hold big tech accountable. From the KMOX business desk, small business optimism fell in March as reports of profit trends worsened. The NFIB Small Business Optimism Index fell 3 points in March, falling below the 52-year average, while the Uncertainty Index rose 4 points from February to 92. That's well above the average of 68. NFIB chief economist Bill Dunkelberg says the dramatic spike in oil and gas prices has spooked customers and business owners alike, and positive profit trends fell 11 points. The percentage of owners who expect better conditions fell 7 points. It's 8:08, traffic and weather in 2 minutes.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Drury, today, and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Drury Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120. Visit Lance, DRURY law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
I'm John Morgan.
There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Reason number 3. First, all lawyers are not the same. If my family had an injury case and I couldn't hire us, there are only about 3 to 4% of the lawyers out there that I would hire. And here's why. Most of them rarely, if ever, go to trial. They just take the last best offer. Hell, you can do that yourself. Do this. If you're looking for a lawyer, Google Morgan & Morgan results and see what comes up. It may shock you. Then Google the firm you're thinking of hiring and do the same. That may shock you as well. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. We won a lot. $30 billion and counting. Morgan & Morgan, or thepeople.com. Who would I hire? I'd hire us.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
8:10. Let's head back to the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. Roger Brand, how's it look now?
Well, we got a couple of jams for Metro East drivers right now, Megan. If you're on westbound 270, it looks like a stall in the right lane, right at Riverview as you get across the Chain Rocks Bridge. So traffic's jammed back to about Route 3, and it looks like road work going on eastbound 5570, a jam approaching 157 about up to the Keebler overpass midway into 159. If you're on westbound 64, it's just a slowdown west of 50 through 159, and then 3rd Street to the Poplar Street Bridge is heavy after that. Eastbound 370 west of 94 into 141, you've got heavy traffic there. Eastbound 64, east of Boone's Crossing to Timberlake, east of Lindbergh through to Big Bend is slow. South 170, a couple of pockets from Olive down to 64. Westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley's heavy. Northbound 270, north of 55, all the way up to Ladue is pretty slow. 55, you've got the backup from about the Union Road overpass. It's heavy all the way up through Holly Hills. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather. Plenty of clouds today. Breezy and not as warm as yesterday. There'll be a couple of showers, even a thunderstorm, the high 79. But those thunderstorms late this afternoon and early tonight can be severe, with damaging wind gusts, hail, and flooding downpours. Lingering clouds late tonight, those 65. Tomorrow, clouds will give way to some sun. A warm day, high 85. Friday, some sun followed by increasing clouds. Breezy, quite warm and rather humid. Watch out for an afternoon thunderstorm, the high 87. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now we have cloudy skies, 72 degrees downtown at the Arch. You're listening to Total Information AM on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. And as you heard this morning, St. Louis County Executive Sam Page is suing the St. Louis County Council and Council Chair Rita Hurd Days. Let's go in depth now on what this case is about. I'm joined a little bit early this morning by KMOX legal analyst Brad Young, partner at Harris, Young, and Kaiser. Good morning, Brad.
Good morning, Megan.
So what is the county executive alleging in this lawsuit?
The county executive is alleging several things. Number one, he's alleging that this ordinance that exists that specifies if the county executive travels outside the country, it automatically triggers a clause of the county charter stating that the chairperson of the St. Louis County Council becomes the acting county executive until the next city or county council meeting. Now, in the actual charter itself, it says that during the county executives, and I'm quoting here, temporary disability or absence from the county, unquote, then that transfer of power occurs. So Sam Page's allegation here is that when it says in the county charter that absence from the county, he's stating and arguing that that means him being, for example, unconscious, ill, unable to fulfill the duties of the county executive, as opposed to simply traveling to Europe, which he's planning on doing this weekend.
If the court doesn't step in and decisions would be made while he's out of the country, could those be challenged?
Well, that's the issue. I mean, at this point, that's why this morning, in about an hour, there's going to be a hearing in county court in Clayton on this issue of whether or not there could be a temporary restraining order. And the court would have several options here. The court could say that this county charter and the statute that was passed, those are both held in abeyance. for a briefing period of time, which would allow Sam Page to travel to Europe this weekend. The TRO could be denied. The judge could say no. The county charter on its face says absence from the county, and going to Europe certainly constitutes absence from the county. So the court has several options here, and we'll certainly know a lot more after today's hearing.
Now, obviously, this is in the charter. No one has ever used this clause before, and we've had county executives travel, correct?
That's correct. And what's interesting is there's even a provision in the county charter that says that the member of the council that takes over as the county executive must be from the same party. In this instance, Rita Days Hurd is in the same party as Sam Page, but Sam Page is concerned, as we heard at the top of the hour here on KMOX. Sam Page's concern is that Rita Days Hurd could, for example, take some action with regard to the county building and construction project going on, and he wants to make sure that does not happen while he's out of the county.
So just as a practical matter, for people who may not care at all about the politics of this, but wonder about the bottom line, when something like this is filed, who is paying for this suit? And then who is representing both the county executive and the county council?
Well, unfortunately, the taxpayers are paying for all of this. The county executive is stating this is something that deals directly with his powers and authority as the St. Louis County executive. And the county council then, of course, is hiring attorneys to defend this. Now, they do have the option of using county attorneys that are already on staff, but most of the time when you have these specialized lawsuits, they hire outside counsel, and there is actually a budget for that. So we're paying for both sides of this litigation.
Okay, we'll watch what happens later on this morning, and everyone can stay with KMOX. We'll bring you the updates. Another big story happening, Brad, is the proposed data center in Festus. It is currently facing multiple challenges, and frankly has been. Things like a recall petition that is underway right now, questions about the last ballot from the last election just a week ago, and then some sunshine law violations. Let's first look at the ballot issue. Apparently, the city treasurer wasn't on it and should have been, and this was the election where 4 council members were bounced by voters. What happens next, and could it invalidate the election?
Well, the plaintiffs here are arguing, Megan, that because the treasurer was left off the ballot, that invalidates the entire election. It invalidates it, and there has to be a new election with regard to even some of the prior county or city council members that were elected. But the problem with that argument is under Missouri law, Missouri courts distinguish between what is called ministerial election errors or errors that affect the outcome of an election. Here, there was no one running against the treasurer, so leaving the treasurer off the ballot did not materially affect the outcome of an election because the treasurer had no one running against that person. So I do think that on this issue, it will be deemed a ministerial election error, and the court would probably order the scheduling of a new election solely related to the treasurer position.
Let's look at those recall petitions. The citizens group that has launched this to try to boot the mayor and any remaining council members out of office, they've only got a few weeks left to gather what they need and validate those. Let's say that it's successful. What happens next? And if those council members are kicked out of office, ultimately, would that invalidate any vote that they've made on the Festus data center proposal?
And that's actually a great question, Megan, and it is really at the heart of this entire issue. So let's just assume hypothetically that the mayor is recalled and all the other council members are recalled and new people are put in that are against the data center. Even if we assume that hypothetical here, Megan, the new commission or the new county council or city council could not reverse what was previously done. And that's a frequent misconception that a newly elected council could simply undo prior approvals. Now, while any future ordinances could be amended or vested contractual rights could be changed. The fact that the prior council agreed to move forward with this project means that the city would be facing massive breach of contract lawsuits, probably even ones involving penalties for terminating a contract without cause, and it would generate a lot of litigation against the city of Festus.
Now, the citizens group has also filed a lawsuit arguing that the city has violated open records laws and notice laws for public meetings. How hard are those types of things to prove in court?
They're very difficult, Megan, and let me tell you why. Under Missouri Sunshine Law, it requires that any meeting of a public governmental body has to be open to the public whenever public business is discussed. And here, the plaintiffs are alleging that there were backroom deals, that there were phone calls that were not open to the public, and therefore they're invalid. The problem is that courts here in this situation have labeled these types of violations or meetings as being, you have to be in a meeting that makes a decision. In other words, having a phone call with someone does not amount to a meeting. Having a conversation with someone in a hallway doesn't amount to a meeting unless that phone call or discussion in a hallway results in a decision. And so that's really the problem that the plaintiffs have here, is showing that these exterior communications amounted to decision-making activities, and that's very difficult to prove.
All right. Well, we'll keep following this, Brad. Thank you for your help this morning.
My pleasure.
That is KMOX legal analyst Brad Young, partner at Harris, Young & Kaiser. He joins us every Wednesday morning here on Total Information AM. Coming up, what are bump outs? Well, Sean Malone will tell us about some new traffic safety features being added to St. Louis City streets. Also, thousands of instrument strings go to landfills every year. This weekend, you can actually get a free set of strings if you recycle them, and we'll tell you how next. First, though, let's get you to work on this Wednesday morning. Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
No better news for westbound 270 drivers, Megan. This traffic reports the service of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. They cleared the stall we had at Riverview. Traffic still jammed Route 3 through the Canal Bridge, but then it begins to pick up the pace. Eastbound 5570 still jams approaching 157, midway into 159. Roadwork there. Westbound 64, just a little slow west of 50. And then again, westbound 64, 3rd Street to Poplar, kind of busy. If you're on eastbound Highway 70, you've got some slow traffic from 370 into about Sunbelt. Eastbound 64, east of Boone's Crossing to about Timberlake and Lindbergh into Big Bend's heavy. South 170 just slow at Brentwood Boulevard. Westbound 64 west of the Science Center to Hanley's crowded. Northbound 270 is off the pace, approaching Gravois all the way up to Ladue. Northbound 55 backed up from the Union Road overpass to River to Pear, but still slow up through Holly Hills. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Mostly cloudy, breezy, and not quite as warm today. We could see a couple of showers and a thunderstorm as well. Expect a high 79 degrees. Right now we have cloudy skies, 72 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
All the financial news and especially the housing market can be really confusing right now. But if you need to sell your home, you may not have time or the ability to wade through all of it. What you need is the right agent who can sell your home regardless of what the economy is doing. And that is Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria has helped thousands of families over her 23 plus years in real estate, and she guarantees that she'll sell your home. In fact, she will put that in writing. So if you want the most money and the least stress when selling your home, call Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online right now at gloriahasthebuyers.com. In fact, Gloria will sell your home at 100% of market value, or she will pay you the difference. The average agent sells maybe 4 to 5 homes a year. Gloria sells a home just about every other day. So she can guarantee that she will sell yours as well because gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
An estimated 1.5 million pounds of instrument strings are thrown away in the United States every year. That's equivalent to the weight of more than 2.5 Statues of Liberty. Even though they may contain materials that can be recycled, such as steel, nickel, copper, and nylon, they typically aren't accepted through standard recycling programs, so they end up in the landfill. Now, a recycling company that specializes in taking things you can't throw in blue bins at the curb has teamed up with a major string manufacturer, and a local music store is getting in on the gig.
You get some people who they won't ever change the strings until they're all, corroded and crusty and then they break on stage, which is fine, waste not, want not, but it's a lot better on your instrument and on your fingers and playability of the instrument to put fresh strings on it.
That's Jared Unfried of Alton Music Exchange in Alton, Illinois. The store is hosting a free Restring and Recycle event this Saturday in partnership with TerraCycle and Diodario Strings. Local musicians can drop off their used strings for recycling and have their instruments restrung with Diodario Strings at no charge. Unfried says replacing strings can be a big expense, especially for musicians who play often.
Strings aren't cheap, so you got to work within your budget, but something like at least once a month, I would say, for people who perform out regularly to change their strings.
Used strings collected at the event will be recycled through Playback, the world's first instrument string recycling program created by Diodario and TerraCycle. Unfried says besides the materials in the strings, there are parts that can also be reused.
There's it's called a bullet on the end of it. It's just a little ring. That little piece itself is highly recyclable, and actually you can send those back to Diodario and they will reuse them.
Alton Music Exchange has 6 workbenches with tools for customers who want to change their own strings on site.
On the 18th, people can come in and they can rent a bench and actually get a free set of strings if they change their strings here. And all the while being here with other people who are also changing strings and kind of build community that way.
Nationwide, the program has collected and recycled more than 16 million strings. Metal strings are smelted into new alloys, while nylon strings are recycled for industrial plastic applications. Saturday's recycling and string giveaway at Alton Music Exchange runs from 11 to 4. It's now 8:27. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
It's Tom Ackerman. I've been friends with Jim Brennan, the president of McKelvey Homes, for a long time. Love playing golf with him. Love hanging out and talking sports with him. And he knows homes, that's for sure. The president of McKelvey Homes. He has been around for a while, and so has the company. They've been around since 1898. That's the year they were founded. And this community is really something special. When Jim tells me the best places to eat, I listen to that as well. And he says that you can walk or take a golf cart to downtown Cottleville from Cottleville Trails for dinner or lunch at Menino's Market. Jim says it's his favorite sandwich shop now, and knowing him, that means a lot. Cottleville Trails from McKelvey Homes, a neighborhood where you actually know your neighbors. Visit McKelveyHomes.com to see what I'm talking about, and visit McKelveyHomes.com for all of the home sites and communities that McKelvey builds in. They are all over the St. Louis area. Move up to McKelvey, McKelveyHomes.com.
This is the story of the one.
As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is.
Just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
Here's something I run into a lot with younger homeowners, and happened to be with my little boy. He was looking at purchasing homes. This house had a 20-plus-year-old furnace and air conditioner. And, of course, my advice was never buy a house with that old of an air conditioner. You will be buying a new one. And he goes, well, how much does a new one cost? For his size home, told him figure it tens of thousands to over $20,000. If you're looking at a house, my personal opinion is make sure it's a newer unit. If not, request buyers put in a newer unit. It makes it easier on your 15 or 30-year mortgage if it's included in the loan. Just my piece of advice for that. But if you're hearing this after the fact and you do need a new air conditioner, sorry to hear that, but call me, Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. The easiest of numbers. It is 314-293-2600 or bartinman.com. God bless.
In our Barch Madness tournament, we have for the last several weeks been searching for the best bar in the St. Louis area as voted by you. We had our championship matchup of McGurk's versus O.B. Clark's, and we would like to congratulate in what is one of the narrowest margins we could have imagined. Way to go, McGurk's.
The Chris and Amy Show, weekdays starting at 9 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
8:31. Let's get the latest on the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, things are still slow on some of these highways, Megan. This traffic report Service of Financial and Tax Strategies. Really no change on North 270 right at Gravois all the way up to Ladue. That's still busy. Eastbound 70 is getting better. It's just kind of slow. Spencer Road overpass into about Cave Springs, and after that, westbound 70 just a little busy between Jennings Station and Lucas Hunt. Eastbound 64 is still busy. Boone's Crossing to about Timberlake. It's slowed down again from Clayton Warson in through the Interbelt. Westbound 64 Hampton Hanley, still a lot of volume there. Northbound 55 a little bit better, but still Bayless up to River to Pear and a little slow through Holly Hills. Westbound 64 just slow west of 3rd Street to the Poplar, and we still have that roadwork back up on eastbound 5570 from 157 about midway to 159. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, mostly cloudy, breezy, not as warm today, high 79. We could see some thunderstorms late this afternoon or early tonight. Those could be severe. Remaining cloudy late tonight with an overnight low of 65. Currently, we have clouds at 72 degrees in downtown St. Louis. The city of St. Louis is making safety improvements to roads, including adding what are called bump outs. KMOX's Sean Malone has more.
Scott Ogilvie, a planning executive with St. Louis City, says the city has a lot more simultaneous work going on now than in recent memory.
Tucker is under construction from Shoto up to Washington Avenue. That project consisted of resurfacing, but also the addition of what we call a cycle track or a bikeway on the west side of the street that is being built right now.
And other major roadways in the city are seeing similar work.
Goodfellow is one of the ARPA repaving and safety corridors, so that is very much under construction. Most of that resurfacing work is done. And then some of those safety features will get layered in now that the pavement is new. And South Jefferson is at roughly the same point.
But while Tucker is receiving bump outs, a few blocks over, some are being removed from downtown. Ogilvie says this is not uncommon.
When we do corridor design, It is actually somewhat typical for there to be some changes made in the field just to reflect the conditions, or sometimes there are some operational changes that are made to a project design after construction, which is the case with near Broadway and Market, which I think has been well covered.
Some of the work on Tucker is making significant changes to the curb with new bump outs carving in bike lanes. What does that mean for the parking situation?
The design of that project, the cycle track runs between the curb and then there's a concrete barrier, but there's going to be a new parking lane that's just separated from, where the sidewalk is or where those meters are. But people will still be able to park in that lane and pay at the existing meters. There's not, there won't be much change to the availability of parking in that corridor.
He said southbound Tucker didn't have to be 4 lanes wide. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
It's 8:34. Your money report is next.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at Amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Your money report now, sponsored by Eamon Gatner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Courtney Donahoe.
Southwest Airlines is pushing ahead with a plan to introduce lounges. It's a significant shift for the carrier, which has long avoided the premium perks embraced by larger rivals. The airline is leaning into higher margin offerings to try to improve profitability. Southwest has been reshaping its business, including moving away from its longtime open seating system. Checking on the market, stock futures are searching for direction this morning after yesterday's solid gains. The S&P 500 surged 1.2%, with the Dow gaining 318 points on the possibility of further peace talks between the U.S. and Iran. An online retailer, Quint, specializes in selling its own brand of low-cost luxury goods. The company is building its brand on a lineup of bougie basics. We're talking $50 cashmere sweaters, with some designs strikingly similar to more expensive designer products. Quinn says it earned more than $1 billion in revenue last year, huge for a company only a few years old. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. Ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions.
Hey guys, Glover here with my good friend John Moriarty. John and I have been friends and business partners for years now. He is the principal at E3 Consultant Group, and he is back in the DGS fold. So John, introduce yourself to the listeners.
I am so happy to be back and also happy to talk about our firm, E3. We have over 70 advisors, Dave, now in multiple cities, working with our clients on the wealth, tax, insurance, asset protection, business consulting side. One of my biggest passions right now is working with business owners and trying to help them reduce their tax liability, improve their cash flow for future generations.
I've known John for years and years and years now. John is a good guy, very smart, excellent pitcher in baseball. That means a lot to me. You have
those days are long gone.
You have a new book out.
We do have a new book out. It's called The Entrepreneur Playbook, written for business owners that have an entrepreneurial mindset. And the book should be dropping on Amazon probably in the next 30 days. And we've got white papers that are supporting it. A lot of that information is going to be on our website at e3wealth.com. But the key thing to me, Dave, is we try to keep creating educational tools for business owners, individuals, families, so that they can protect the purpose of their money.
So whether you are interested in classic personal retirement, business growth, or just an overall tax strategy, reach out to my friend John at e3wealth.com.
This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. The Missouri Military Academy in Central Missouri being sued by the family of a student who says their 12-year-old was repeatedly sexually assaulted by an older roommate. A Gallup poll out today finds that about 1 in 4 U.S. adults used AI for health information in the past month. Experts warn that AI chatbots can sometimes provide false information. And the owner of Snapchat cutting about 16% of its global workforce. That means around 1,000 jobs. Let's head back to the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center. Roger Brand, how's it look out there?
Well, it's a little tougher on North 270, although the problems have been removed, Megan. This traffic reports a service of Artistic Decks. I couldn't tell if it was a crash or a stall, but they cleared it to the shoulder, North 270 at the Clayton Road overpass. Traffic's still slow at 44 and jammed from about Big Bend most of the way up to Clayton Road on North 270 right now, but it'll improve. Like I said, it's on the shoulder, but everybody may be slowing for the flashing lights of the police now. I don't know. Eastbound 64, Guns to about Timberlake, still heavy. East of Clayton Warson, it's bogged down to Big Bend. Westbound 64, Hampton to Hanley, got heavy traffic. North 55, Bayless up to Holly Hills, a couple of slow spots. Westbound 64, busy west of 3rd Street to the Poplar, and eastbound 5570 backed up, approaching 157 about midway into 159. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Ready to hit a home run with your backyard? Call Artistic Decks. We're celebrating 25 years of A-plus service with massive rollback pricing. Get a professional custom-built deck for less. Hit it out of the park with Artistic Decks. Call 314-280-0821 today.
For most of the day today, it's going to be cloudy, breezy, not quite as warm with a high of 79, but we could see some showers and thunderstorms late this afternoon and early tonight. Some of those could be severe with damaging winds, hail, and flooding downpours. Expect an overnight low tonight around 65. Right now, cloudy skies, 72 downtown at the Arch. Thanks for listening to Total Information AM here on KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. In January, the Missouri State Board of Education stripped the St. Louis Public Schools of full accreditation. It was based on leadership instability, transportation issues, and tardy financial reports. The Missouri State Auditor has also warned the district that it could face insolvency within the next decade if deficits persist. Dr. Myra Michelle Berry, a longtime staff member in the district, has stepped up to serve as interim superintendent. That was in the fall. And last week, she was officially named superintendent of St. Louis Public Schools. She joins me now here on KMOX. Good morning, Dr. Berry.
Good morning, Megan. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. I had to note that your career started as a teacher in the classroom. You've moved your way up. What do you feel like you bring to the table right now that will serve the district at this time?
Yes, thank you first for having me on this morning. You are absolutely correct. Being a part of this district for almost 21 years now and starting myself as a teacher and being able to be on the ground and learning so much from so many around me at the same time, and just being able to see how things are done and done with fidelity brought me great joy. And then also seeing the number of students and teachers that call St. Louis and St. Louis Public Schools home, that you also get a sense of wanting to be here. So being able to come up through the ranks and doing just about everything you can think of in the school district, and now finally landing here, it gives me a sense of purpose, and it also allows me to see and never forget what our teachers and those that are working inside the schools, what they're going through, what the parents are going through, and our students. So it really helps me understand my why and the reason that we continue to do this.
Let's look at the financial picture first. What's it going to take to get the budget back on track for the district?
I thank you for asking. So we are having a conversation about the budget tomorrow as well as Tuesday, but this is going to be for the 26-27 fiscal year. And I do want to just be very honest. When they see the budget for next year, it is going to be some of the same that we have this year, if not a little bit more, as far as having just that deficit spending in the fund balance. And the reason being, one, I was just, appointed. So decisions had to be made later. And so it would be completely unfair to change and uproot everything over this next couple of, 2 months that we have remaining in the school year. However, for the 27-28 fiscal year, you will see a lot of changes. And that's where we're going to really need our community to help in and step up. So we're going to have some necessary but very hard decisions to make. But I do believe that within the next 2 to 3 years, you will certainly see that we will have a balanced budget.
There's been a lot of stress in the community over neighborhood schools and how you weigh that with the budgetary needs. How do you balance the need to be fiscally responsible with the need, for families who say they need that community of a school building?
I am thrilled actually to hear you say that. My top priority is that every school is a neighborhood school and is a school of choice. Now, we do know that we have certain schools that we still have in the district, like our gifted schools. However, every school that does not have that type of determination should be a neighborhood school, and we are working on to have well-resourced school. There needs to be a certified teacher in every classroom. If one side of our city offers AB or IB courses, you should be able to get that on the other side of the school district as well. We have to make sure that we are not only providing what our students need, but what they also want to have. Students want choices. And so we need to be able to give that to them. And so it is certainly our hope over this next transition while we are reconfiguring our school district for the next, 15 to 18 months, that every neighborhood school and parents will have the options and teachers will have the options and students to say what we want in our schools, and we will be able to provide that for them.
Would you expect, however, more closures of schools because of the financial strain on the district?
So what I can tell you is more than just a financial strain. You have to look at when you have right now our 62 schools, are we able to provide every single school what they need to be a well-resourced school, even starting with staff? We all know that our teachers are just not graduating the way they used to. When we look at our student enrollment, if you have a school that can hold up to 600 and 700 students, we are stretching our resources thin when we have 200 students there. And then you have another school with the same problem. So you're trying to find certificated teachers in a number of areas when there really aren't that many certificated teachers. So our resources are stretched thin. So I do believe that what will happen is when we reconfigure, we will be able to provide multiple resources in one school, and our students will be able to have access to more in the school district. So I know it's about budget, but it's way bigger than just the resources and financial resources right now.
What challenges are you facing in the coming school year when we talk about the district's transportation system? There have been some gaps in recent years there.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about our transportation system. So we are working with Zoom, and they have really been able to stabilize and strengthen our transportation services this year. And so the partnership has been strong. They are definitely improving in the efficiency. We did max out about a 96% on-time rate. And while we max out there, it is our intent to see if we can actually average that next year. Right now, we're running about 220 routes. So we transport students from 4 north to 4 south. And so we're trying to see how we can better redo our boundaries to figure out what's the best approach to make it more efficient. And so I truly believe that we have solved the issue around transportation. We just need to stabilize the issue around transportation. I know we can do that next year.
One last question for you. What do you need from the school board in order to be successful in this role?
The school board has been absolutely phenomenal, and I'm not just making that up. They say all the time, we are here for governance. They do. They hear, they ask tough questions, especially behind closed doors, and they ask those questions as far as being a stakeholder. Like, what would a stakeholder want to see and know? They ask me for clarity. If they don't understand something, they dig in deeper, and they're not just always saying, oh, yes, we certainly agree. Or if they do share their ideas, they'll say, but you are the superintendent. We are certainly not trying to tell you how to do anything. And I'm so appreciative of the guidance that they have and the room that they have given us to actually lead this district to where it needs to go. And so I can't express enough how fortunate I am to have the school board that I do.
Well, Dr. Berry, we look forward to having you on again soon. Thank you for your time this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.
You as well. That is Dr. Myra Michelle Berry, Superintendent of St. Louis Public Schools.
Beat the spring cleaning rush at Zero Res this week. 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129 and whole system air duct cleaning for just $599. Visit ZeroResSTL.com to book your appointment. That's ZeroResSTL.com.
Tom Ackerman here for Tim and Tom Gamma and Gamma Tree Experts and their father, Frank, who's going to be 91 this year. That means that he started this business back when he was a teenager. Gamma Tree Experts back in 1954. What a great company. What a great run they've had. Gamma Tree Experts. GammaTree.com. You can find storm damage. You can find emerald ash borer treatment. Tree trimming and limbs are going to be hanging over parts of your home that you don't want them to when those storms come through. Have Gamma Tree Experts come over, identify the issue, and take care of it right away. They're the best in the business, no question about it. They've been handling homes and businesses in St. Louis for years. All you have to do is go to GammaTree.com to get yourself started and read all about the great things that they do for homes and businesses and municipalities around the area. GammaTree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
Retirement. Exciting in one way, scary in others. How do you find the financial advisor that covers all the bases? Join Greg Ayler Saturdays at 1 on Fire Your Financial Advisor.
Calling all runners. Register now for the Cardinals 5K on Saturday, April 18th, and you can take a victory lap on the field at Busch Stadium. Don't miss this chance to bring the whole family for a fun St. Louis 5K race that brings fans together to support kids in the community. The Cardinals 5K, Saturday, April 18th. Register now at cardinals.com/5K. And for more information, just head to KMOX.com/events.
You're back with Total Information AM on KMOX. Here's Debbie Monterey.
We could all use some practical advice. You ever find yourself in one of those situations and you just don't know how to respond? Well, Emily Lampkin has a book called Duct Tape and White Lies, a woman's practical guide to real life success. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Debbie.
What advice can you give women to sell themselves or to promote themselves? Because I'm terrible at it. I always feel like I'm going overboard when I'm not even doing anything.
We think we're being braggadocious.
Right.
It's really in our head. And one of the things I talk to women about a lot is how men and women's brains are wired differently and communicate. So how we think we sound with ourselves, we sound like we're underselling ourselves, especially with men. My recommendation is to come up with a selling you pitch, starting with introducing yourself, your first, your last name. Smile. Firm handshake, and then tell a story about yourself because the reading of the resume is boring. And then the final trump piece here is start asking for what you want.
Oh, that's the key. I mean, it's true women still don't make as much as men, but it is also true that we are not as good at negotiating for what we want.
Just asking in general. And I suggest start with simple things. Ask people, I'd like to learn more about you. I'd like to, spend 20 minutes having a coffee getting up to speed on this subject or this career path I'm interested in. It means when you make big asks for promotions or investment money in a business, they're a lot easier.
Another thing that I am also guilty of, and I know a lot of our female listeners are, is saying no because we're all people pleasers. So how do you decline something without feeling terrible and or making the other person not like us anymore?
You may feel terrible because that's the mindset you're in, and it takes a little bit of practice to get out of it. What I filled this book with is what I call accessories, and they're mini chapters which have hints. And one of them is how to say no without saying no. All sorts of suggestions you can try out that you can see if they work for you.
I can't wait to dig into those. Can you give us an example of like what one might be?
Sure. Unfortunately, I can't make it. What about next week? Or that was not my intention. There's a number of ways to do this. And with men, you know what is a great answer when you want to say no? No. They understand it very well.
They do say no as a complete sentence.
It is.
But it is very difficult for a lot of us to do. When you talk about being bold, or I guess people have described you as bold. I'm not sure if you describe yourself that way, but what tips could you give us to be more bold in our life, to not, just sort of let life happen?
It's interesting you asked that, Debbie, because the number one question I get asked is, if there's one piece of advice you could give women, what would it be? And it would be to take more risks. All of us define risk differently, but I found when I was observing women who were thriving in their lives, they were living with less woulda, coulda, shoulda. If that means applying to the job where you only make 3 of the 5 qualifications, if it means asking for a raise, whatever it is to you, take more risks. You don't always get what you want, but you're not thinking, I should have done it.
Do you think some of that has to do with women having imposter syndrome or women feeling like, well, I have to know everything about this and have all my ducks in a row before I put myself out there? Whereas men are like, well, let's see how it goes.
Let's go. I mean, our brains are wired to protect us, and that's good. But we also can't let it prevent us from having what we want. I call those things dream slashers. I'm going to do that when my kids are older, when my mom's not sick, once I lose 20 pounds, once I've got the investment money, then I'm going to. And I say we've got to break the dream slashers, because that means the only person in our way is us. We're making excuses.
Women leaders, is there kind of a common thread that you've noticed among women who truly are leading?
I, first of all, will attest that most women are leaders. They just either don't know it or they won't admit it to themselves. Most of us are leaders. And the common thread I find among them, and I talk specifically about the many qualifications they have, but reliability. If you say you're going to do something, people are counting on you. You have to do it.
Duct Tape and White Lies is the name of the book. I'm sure there has to be a story in the book that, what about duct tape?
There is. And by the way, I love the title. It has made it a USA Today, LA Times bestseller.
Excellent.
Because of this title. It was always my answer whenever people ask me, how do you do it all, Emily? There was an assumption that my life was perfect. By the way, perfection is unattainable and miserable. None of us should want it. And it's all about, you can have what you want, living our lives in the messy middle, but never assume anybody's life is any more not duct taped and white lied to success as yours is.
That's a good point. Because especially with social media, we tend to look at other people's lives and think, wow, they really have it going on, and my life is a disaster.
Amen, sister. That is what social media makes us think. Yes.
But yes, we're only posting the best pictures of ourselves, right?
Yes.
Which is okay. We should be putting our best face forward, right?
I mean, that's all great. Yes. We just have to remember that we, for ourselves, need to look at our lives where they are right then and still know we can have what we want, even though life isn't perfect.
Oh, I'm looking through your table of contents for the book too, and you've got things on running for office and fundraising. So I know I just have done a lot of interviews lately of women trying to get other women to run for office.
This is where I began. It has been a passion of mine for 25 years, is getting more women to run for office and to participate in our political process in their community, wherever they are. And it started out here in this country. And now I do it globally, train women who are running for office, even in burgeoning democracies, which is incredibly humbling.
Well, it is fantastic. I can't wait to dig into this. Duct Tape and White Lies, A Woman's Practical Guide to Real Life Success. Emily Lamkin, best wishes for the book. It sounds like it's already a USA Today bestseller. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Health Trends, sponsored by Wesley Financial.
Water is a winner for dental health. Dry mouth makes you more prone to cavities and is more common with age and certain medications. So stay hydrated and drink sips of water throughout the day. Sugarless gum can also help. The American Dental Association says floss and brush and stop rinsing after brushing so the fluoride has more time to strengthen your enamel. More tips are available at mouthhealthy.org. I'm Margie Schaefer.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-939-1441. 800-939-1441.
If you're already planning for travel for spring and summer, don't forget to include all the essentials for your eye care. This is Megan Lynch for Ophthalmology Associates. You can call them at 314-966-5000. Maybe you're getting away right after school lets out, so make sure you have what you need on hand. Maybe it's contacts, eye drops, or other eye care needs. Let Ophthalmology Associates help you. And actually, this is a good time to get your annual exam scheduled and on the calendar before this year's travel as well. The doctors of Ophthalmology Associates are Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. Did you know that while they're checking out your eyesight, they may also be able to spot some other health conditions during your eye exam? That includes high blood pressure, diabetes, thyroid disorder, and other serious conditions. You can find Ophthalmology Associates at 12990 Manchester Road. That's about a half mile west of I-270 on eastbound Manchester. For more information, call 314-966-5000 or go to yourEyeDoc.com.
Inflation is squeezing budgets, and